Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat. The show is about to begin.
Presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon. Joined as always by my wildly handsome co-host, John Luke Garofalo. Our friend Coop with us, aka Coop A. Fiasco. What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show, brought to you by Bettor Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my wildly handsome co-host, Andrew Cooper. What's up, Coop?
Morning, dude. How we doing?
Doing all right. Bright and early on a Thursday morning. And we got some people in chat ready for today's show. Craig in here saying morning. Tommy over here saying a poem for us bright and early. We got the smell of the grass, cold beers, and hot dogs. It's opening day. Play ball, my hogs. You think you know ball? Well, you better act fast. It's the Sox and the Stros tonight on Bettor Cast.
Ooh,
Yeehaw!
now it's like a promo poem. I like that,
That's
dude.
hot, Tommy.
Hot boy,
Getting
yes.
pretty good.
And it's a baseball day.
Shout out baseball.
Back today. Shout out baseball.
If you've got a cool opening day tradition, call in and let us know about it today, because I know there's some sick opening day traditions out there. I've never been a part of one. Would love to be a part of one someday. But I know there's families and friends that have long-standing MLB opening day traditions. Call in and let us know. You got anything you do on opening day or have done on opening day, Coop?
Yeah, we have this tradition. I think a lot of people in Boston have the same tradition. It's where you look up the prices to tickets on opening day and you say, "Oh my God." And then you realize that you can't afford to go to Fenway Park until a random Tuesday when they play the Orioles at some point in the heart of summer. Do you have any traditions for baseball?
No. Generally I go, "Oh shit, it's opening day." And that's I forget. And then baseball hits. I'll watch some games and then I'll get caught up in something else and I'll tune back in around like the halfway point.
Like for baseball, and we've actually done a number of these where like I've looked at in certain years, I've looked at the schedule. One time we drove down to Baltimore and we went to back-to-back games, one Friday at Camden Yards, and then we went to we drove 40 minutes because they're only 40 minutes. I don't think people realize how close National Stadium is from the Orioles Stadium. It's less than an hour drive over the bridge. So we drive over there. So $5 tickets to the Orioles, $6 tickets to the Nationals, and then we come back for another Orioles game for $5 versus, that year the get-in price for Fenway was, probably $150. So moves like that's how you got to enjoy baseball here in Boston. Fly to Arizona and then go to a bunch of Diamondbacks games. That's another option. That's another option that you can do. That's much cheaper than just driving to Fenway Park and parking and going to a game. So
It reminds me when I was in Puerto Escondido, I went on like this tour thing, and on the tour with us was this group of Canadians from Manitoba. They were from like rural Manitoba, and oh boy, were they huge Winnipeg Jets fans.
Yes.
Like freaking huge Winnipeg Jets fans. And they said the cheapest way to see a game was to spend a weekend in Arizona when the Jets were playing in Arizona. They would wait till the Jets had a game in Arizona, buy flights, tickets to the game, and hotels, and it would be cheaper than tickets to see them in Winnipeg.
Yes, I mean that's how it goes, dude. It's crazy. Like the Diamondbacks, I'm not sure if they still have this deal going, but when I was there, they had the most absurd deal. Like it was boggling my mind. So they had this deal where you could go to 40 home games and it cost $80. And all you did was you download this app, and when they don't sell out, which they know they're not going to, you just get like a message like an hour before the game and it tells you where your seats are. So they just wait, like you basically say like it's a leftover ticket package, but $2 games, man. $2 games. And one of the games we went to was against the Rockies, right? And I'm sitting there. We have amazing seats. The guy next to me is, I'm talking to him. He's a Red Sox fan. The guy on my other side is literally wearing a Blue Jays jersey to a Red Sox. It was Rockies against Diamondbacks. He's wearing a Blue Jays jersey. He's just like, we just moved down here because the Blue Jays do spring training down here, right? So we're hanging out watching the game. Third inning, Charlie Blackmon gets up, and Charlie Blackmon, for those that don't know, doesn't play for the Diamondbacks. He plays for the Rockies. He hits a home run that is probably the farthest home run I've ever personally seen. It leaves the stadium, and the entire crowd goes crazy. And I turn to the guy next to me who, moved down there. I'm like, what's everyone doing? He goes, oh, if they hit it out of the stadium, everybody gets a free taco. I was like, they're cheering for the other team over tacos? Like, what are we doing? Right? So then, like, the seventh inning comes around, and Robbie Ray gets a strikeout, which he was pitching great the whole game. He had a strikeout, and everyone went crazy. And I'm like, what's going on? And the guy's like, oh, if you get 10 strikeouts, everyone gets a free drink at Circle K. I'm like, what the hell? Like, they just have to give stuff away to get people to come here. The game ended, and I'm walking out, and there's these people at these like fold up tables, and they're just like, here's your tote bag, and here's your taco, and here's your drink. Like I paid like $2 to go to the game, and I left with like $15 worth of merch.
It's like a college meal plan.
That's what I'm saying.
You got 40 meal swipes. Come to the dining hall, get your taco and your big gulp, and then head on home.
Yeah, like it is crazy, dude. It's like guy hits a 3-run bomb to go up 3-0, and all these drunk dudes in their Astros jerseys are like, yeah.
There's something like really pure about that vibe, though. Know what I mean? Like, there's something very just like food. Like,
it was dope, man.
Like, I know we're fans, but we're cheering, baby. That's awesome. We got NKC in here. What's up, NKC? Good morning, my friend. Wants to know where JL is. Coop, where is JL this morning?
JL, he actually just got tickets to be a season ticket holder to the Montreal Expos. So he's up there now. He actually texted me, and he was like, where is everybody? So I'm not sure I have the heart to let him know that they stopped being a team a while ago.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah, he's wearing a Vlad Guerrero Senior jersey, just kind of banging on the door. He's wearing a Tom Brady catcher jersey, and just knocking on the door like, "Where is everybody?"
This is gonna be the Atlanta Thrashers all over again.
Oh,
he was so excited when he came to visit me in Atlanta. He was freaking decked out in Thrashers gear when I picked him up off the airplane. He had the jersey, the hat. He even brought freaking ice skates. He had like this dream that he was gonna like make the team. Like, they were gonna spot him at the game. And I look at him, I'm like, dude, they're in Winnipeg now. Like, we don't even have a minor league team here. The Gwinnett Gladiators are off season. They're not even playing right now.
He just shows up in a Danny Heatley jersey, just like, when are we going to the match? That is, now that I think of it, his profile picture on Twitter is him in a Sean Kemp Supersonics jersey. So not
how does the same thing happen to the same guy 3 times in a row?
Someday they'll bring Kevin Durant seems adamant about bringing the team back to Seattle. So maybe he'll get it done someday.
Maybe one day. We also got Tyson in here saying, go Jays. What's up, Tyson? And the Jays were, when I was a kid, I went to go see a Blue Jays game, and I just freaking fell in love with that team. I'm still a Braves fan, but I always cheered for the Blue Jays a little when they were playing. We also got
their logo is pretty sick. That's a big part of it.
The colors are sick. The logo is sick. And we got Albert in here saying, good morning, everyone. What's up, Albert? Welcome in, my friend.
Albert.
Wait until the Fantasy Football Expo is in Montreal. We can all be Montreal Expos then.
Poetic.
Or Montreal Expo attendees, at least.
At the very least.
At the very least. Cool. Well, I think it's that time of morning. I hope everybody brought something to eat, brought something to munch on, because we got everything else. We got the news. We got the stories. You just got to bring your own breakfast. You bring anything to eat this morning, Coop?
I did bring something to eat. I have a banana and honeydew melon. Let's think about cutting up a honeydew melon and a pineapple. You have enough melon and pineapple for a few days. So got all that going on. Chocolate milk, coffee. Regular deal over here. What about you, buddy?
I just got water over here today. My stomach is fighting me this morning, so I'm fighting back. I'm bullying it. I'll be nice to it after the show.
I mean, with no jail today, if you have to bounce off the show, you know what that means.
It's just hogging the hog.
It's hog and hog. We're talking tight ends. It's the tight end hour. If you want to call in, talk about tight ends now. But so I know the
Joey
fans
comes on and you just kick him off. No, I'm good.
Like we're talking tight ends today, baby.
3 hours tight ends. How long do you think solo you could talk tight ends?
I mean, like how many shows in a row?
Without.
I think
Okay, yeah, that answers more than my question.
I think I could probably do quite a few, dude, to be honest with you.
You think you could do a solo 3-hour show just talking tight ends?
I mean, I got a lot of stuff to say, dude. I got a lot of stuff to say. We've been doing that. We've been doing that for a while. I mean, did you see how many tight end questions I answered on Twitter?
I didn't, but I see your name come up all the time, just with like every tight end move. Like whenever the Hayden Hurst news happened, I swear I saw like 14 people tweet like, I know it literally doesn't matter, but I always go check with Coupe Fiasco anyways, just in case.
Dude, so I get those. I said the other day, if you think you have a shot at winning your Dynasty League this year, tell me who your starting tight end is, and I'll let you know if you need to upgrade or not. Do you know how many responses I got to that question?
140.
671.
Okay, that's more.
I'm trying to answer all these. I have a tab open where I'm like kind of scrolling through in order, and that tab, the question I'm on right now is now over 24 hours old. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna try though, dude. I offered, and I'm gonna try, and that's the best I could do.
That's why
I'm hitting them. We're hitting
when
them.
when I put offers out on Twitter, extreme offers, they're not time consuming ones. It's something like that'll hurt me. Like, I swear I'll eat a Carolina Reaper pepper tonight if the Bengals beat the Browns one more time.
And that's a one and done thing.
It's a one and done thing. I'll do those. But similar, there's two ways to rile up people on Twitter. Yeah, give them tight end advice or threaten to hurt yourself. And then everybody will jump in and give you attention either way.
Yeah, that's quite that's a lot easier than doing this, than mapping out everyone's game plan for their dynasty fantasy football.
Yeah, just ruin my mouth and stomach for 2 days. I'll just take that.
Yeah, that sounds way better, dude. That sounds way better.
So Craig said if Coop talks about tight ends long enough, he would tie up all the loose ends about them.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And NKC rules down here saying I have cookies.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's cookies for breakfast. Cookies for breakfast?
Cookie Crunch. That's a big part of
Cookie Crisp.
Is that what it is? I told you I'm not a cereal guy. Like, we've had this discussion.
Cookie Crinkles.
Cookie Crinkles. Get those Cookie Crinkles in, dude. That's a big part about being an adult. Is every once in a while you have to just have that moment where you're like, you know what? I'm having cookies right now. I'm having pie right now for breakfast. So
I do Reese's Puffs semi-regularly. Like where I'll be at the grocery store and they speak to me.
That's an actual cereal, dude. I'm talking like a whatever you want move. Pizza for breakfast. Which, I mean, that's still kind of traditional.
Sometimes after this show, I walk straight up to the corner store. I buy a box of mac and cheese and I make it right away. And I eat mac and cheese at like 9:30 a.m.
Yeah, see, like that move, dude. Like I'm having a cheeseburger.
I sit on the couch, I turn on Sports Center, and I eat mac and cheese at 9:30 a.m. while knocking out some emails.
Yeah, the problem with being an adult and being able to do whatever you want is you don't get to take your kid brain with you. Like the kid brain that wanted to have ice cream for dinner, like your adult brain is like, there's no nutrients in that. You know what I mean? Your adult brain is like, well, we gotta eat like protein. You know, so it's like, it's just being an adult is ruined by being an adult. It's
like, oh, shoot, I didn't eat a single vegetable yet today.
Adulthood is lost on adults. It really is. It's wasted. They should let the kids be adults for a bit.
They should. Shout out Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Shout out Pie.
Shout out Pie as well. And Craig said pie is so underrated. I'm with you. I freaking love pie. And shout out the Hills Have Pies. Emily Kluge. Yeah. She makes unbelievably delicious pies. We had a blueberry streusel crumble pie from her, and it was so good.
Dude, I'm still salty with her because when I went out there to Colorado, to Denver. I was like, let's meet up. And she was like, oh, I'm gonna make you a pie. And then she was like, I was like, we got there and she's like, oh, I made you a pie. I was like, nice. Where is it? She's like, on my counter, an hour and a half away. I was like, oh, send me a picture, I guess. I don't know. Like, not her fault at all that it was funny. But that later I was like, now because I follow her on Twitter and whenever I see a pie on there, I'm like,
That's my pie.
that looks good. That looks really good, dude. You can mail me one of those. Can you mail a pie?
Yeah, that's how we got ours.
Oh, what the hell? How has she not mailed me a pie? Dude. Unbelievable. Oh, I'm writing a letter.
You can mail that too, just in case you were unsure.
Yeah, I'm going to.
You can mail that the same way she would mail the pie.
I'm sending mine first class.
Do it.
I'm sending mine. I'm sending first class with postage to I'm gonna send like a empty pie box to her with prepaid postage to send me a pie back.
The letters inside the box.
That'll put the pressure on. You know, anytime you get like the prepaid postage, you feel obligated to send it back.
Do you? My biggest weak point in life is probably my ability to mail something on time. Yeah. I don't know why. Getting to the post office is such a hassle. Like more so that it's 5 minutes away, and I'd rather drive an hour to Austin to hand deliver something than go to the post office.
Yeah, I cannot drive 5 minutes in any direction. I think I want to say literally every road that leads from my house has a place like a Walgreens or something that does FedEx, and I still am just like, this is an impossible task.
Oh God, Simpson's still waiting for my retainer, Simon. Yeah, I'll send that this week. That's a couple years ago, I think. My bad, Tim.
I think it's probably looking ripe right now. Just kind of chilling.
Probably looking good. Well, Coop, I saw, speaking of ripe and chilling, Kyle Shanahan had a quote yesterday when he was asked about trading Brock Purdy or Trey Lance. He said, we'll listen to anything. We'll listen if someone wants to trade for John Lynch. If someone wants to trade for me, I'm sure John Lynch will listen. We'll listen on anything.
What a quote. That's an amazing quote. That quote is almost as good as the I don't even know if we'll be alive next week quote. Was that him as well?
I don't remember, but Kyle Shanahan's been on one so far this offseason.
I think that was him last offseason. They were like, is Jimmy G the starter? He's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't even know if we'll be alive next week. I was like, geez, way to send everyone into an existential crisis.
No, 100%. And this is the most non-answer answer. Know what I mean? He's basically saying sure.
Yeah.
Sure. He's saying if they offer us 2 first, probably. If they offer us 3 first, sure, we'll listen.
Which is the answer you should have. Instead of Sean Payton being like, these boys are not for sale. There should be a price, especially in your dynasty leagues, you guys at home. Never take that off the table because you never know if somebody will be willing to overpay, right? One time I was wearing a Muhammad Ali shirt to a party, and this kid was like, that shirt's dope. I was like, thanks, man. He's like, I'll buy it off you. And I was like, how much? And he was like, I'll give you $50. I was like, all right. And I just sold the dude my shirt. And then I went back to Marshall's the next day and bought another one for $15.
Nice.
Yeah. So never, I didn't have a shirt for the rest of the evening, but almost made the party better. So that's part of the game. Important advice. Sell the shirt off your back if you have to. For the right
I was
price.
offered money for the shirt off my back multiple times in a bar. The same shirt. Apparently people collect them, but I never gave it to them because every time they asked me for it, all of a sudden it became my favorite shirt. And then they'd walk away and it wouldn't be my favorite shirt anymore. But as soon as somebody says, I'll give you $40 and the shirt off my back for your shirt, the answer is no, this is my favorite shirt. You can't have it.
I've bought a shirt off someone's back as recently as within the last year. I bought this.
That's hilarious.
I bought this off a guy. I was like, dude, I can't find that anywhere. And it's a Ty Law jersey with the big Elvis heads on the sleeves, the big ones.
Yeah.
And he was like, his buddies were like, sell it to him, dude. You're rich. And I was like, dude, are you rich? And he was like, I do all right. They were in the box seats, and his buddies just kept bugging him until he sold me the shirt.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So very cool, dude. But back to what we were talking about with the news with Purdy and Lance. Yesterday I mentioned like with the Tom Brady Drew Brees thing, we were talking Tom Brady and Peyton Manning thing. We were talking about how okay, like it wasn't really Tom Brady versus Drew Bledsoe. It was Bledsoe versus Tom Brady and $100 million because Tom Brady was on a 6th-round pick, and I was like, it's kind of like that with Lance and John Lance. It's kind of like that with Lance and Purdy. I don't know why I can't say the right person's name right now, but what I didn't realize is that Purdy's contract is so low that he legitimately doesn't even count against the salary cap.
Wild.
How crazy is that? So apparently there's 53 people on a roster at the end of the day. But right now there's like 90. But even now, and when they cut it down to 53, it's actually only the top 51 contracts that count against salary cap, right? And if you're the very last pick in the NFL draft on a rookie contract, you therefore likely have one of the cheapest contracts that are possible in this league. So right now, Purdy's contract doesn't even count against the salary cap. How crazy is that?
That's nuts.
Yeah,
That's absolutely nuts. It's absurd.
it's wild, dude. So like, if they were to, the thing is with trading Lance, the contracts are set up kind of. The rookie contracts are set up in a very interesting way. The NFLPA negotiated the rookie wage scale to favor early round picks and allow for late round picks to be cut. So if you do cut a first round pick or trade them in the early years of their contract, there's a pretty big cap hit. So it's not really like they could trade Lance and save a ton of money. It's not that easy. So, but still, they would save more than if they traded Purdy, but they would eat a bunch of dead cap. But still, I mean, that has to factor in this decision, right, Simon?
Yeah, and there's kind of two different ways to look at it with Brock Purdy and his contract situation. There's one, why would they trade him when he's free and on their roster? But then there's also two, they invested almost nothing in him. They might be looking to get their return sooner rather than later. And that return could come in the form of draft picks and or other players for this team in a trade. Like both routes make sense. Both ways make sense. And I think what it comes down to is if the team believes that what they saw from Brock Purdy last year is legit. If they believe what they saw from Brock Purdy last year is for real, then I see no reason why they trade a guy that's free, even if he's their backup. Like the value of a backup, no team in the league knows it more than the San Francisco 49ers. Like the Eagles have forgotten how important it was. Like they were the team that knew it the most with Nick Foles winning them a Super Bowl. But it's been a couple years. And now the 49ers have gotten so close, but had quarterback troubles over and over. They know that. And if they believe in Brock Purdy, I don't think they trade him, even if it's as a backup.
Yeah. And
It's
that's
free, man. A free backup quarterback that you trust.
I mean, that's why the Ravens kept Tyler Huntley all this time, because they could keep him on these like exclusive rights free agent deal, restricted free agent deal. It's like, why would you trade that guy if you could just keep him? And then if somebody signs him after he leaves, you still get a third round comp pick back, most likely. Yeah. So it pretty simple to me to keep a guy like that. Not to mention, Brock Purdy might not be ready to go to start the year. So it's not necessarily that you could just if you trade Trey Lance, you're probably starting Sam Darnold to start the year. That's cutting it a little close, flying a little close to the sun.
Watch Sam Darnold be the answer in this organization. Like watch everyone's fighting Purdy versus Lance, and then week 1, Sam Darnold's the starter.
Yeah. I mean, hey, maybe that's why he signed there. Maybe he signed there because they went to him and was like, hey, there's a real possibility we trade one of these guys, and now you're right in the mix,
Yeah.
So it could be interesting. I like NKC Rules got a good idea in honor of opening day today for baseball. Let everybody know in the chat who your favorite baseball team is. Mine, the Red Sox. Tommy, I was pretty offended by you in your rhyme today, saying the Astros are playing the Sox today. The Astros are not playing the Sox. The Sox are playing the Orioles today. The Astros are playing the White Sox. The Shy Sox. I'll even go Shy Sox and Bo Sox. But sorry, but the Red Sox are the older team. They're the original Sox. So you're just going to have to eat it.
Tommy said the true Sox.
The true Sox. The true Sox versus the other Sox.
Craig said Brewers. I'm a Braves fan. Grew up in Atlanta. It was probably the only professional sporting team in Atlanta that we went to games regularly for, like that I've got like multiple strong childhood memories from. So I pull for the Braves generally, but all my family's up in Cleveland, so I will pull for the Guardians as well,
I like
as long as
that,
they're not playing the Braves.
of course. And the Braves, I mean, very good team right now. They're set up to be. I'm not sure if you've been looking, Simon, but it's probably a good year to be a Braves fan.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, I think they're like top they're definitely top 3 in the World Series odds from last. I was looking at it a couple days ago. And I remember they might be even second behind the Astros, which pretty good with teams like the Yankees and Dodgers out there to be in that discussion. So feeling pretty good about the Braves. Red Sox, not so much. Red Sox are actually have the same odds to win the World Series that the Patriots do. Bad.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Braves and Dodgers sitting at plus 750, just barely behind the Astros at plus 600.
Yeah.
Braves
Plus
are tied for second, and then Yankees next at plus 850, Mets at plus 900, and Padres at plus 1,000.
Padres plus 1,000. That's not
Those
too
are
bad
the-
either. Padres have
Those
been
are the
dropping
top 6 teams.
money. Padres have been dropping moolah. The Mets have been dropping moolah. The Mets have been dropping so much money that like there's been reports that other teams' owners are pissed at their owner, at Cohen. They're just like, you're not supposed to do that.
At the spending spree that he's going
Yeah.
on.
They're like, you gotta cut that out. That's what.
Stop it.
Stop. Hey. So, and NKC, of course, says his favorite team is the Phillies. Phillies fans are fun.
And then KC said Simon's scared to say his team. I already said it. I'm a Braves fan. Atlanta
Yeah.
Braves. Atlanta Braves.
He is very brave, NKC. Not scared.
Also, Tommy Dunn, you're saying, I am a Yankees fan, but grew up a Dodgers fan.
Yankees fan, grew up a Dodgers fan. Barf, double barf, bro. Ani Coop is a Dodgers fan, and she also is partial to the Orioles as well. She's Ani Coop, so she gets 2 teams. I'm a Red Sox fan that's kind of likes the Diamondbacks. So there you go. You always get to have a team in the other division. If you were going to pick so you have your National League team, Simon. Let's say you were going to pick an American League team. Would it be the Blue Jays? You kind of mentioned them earlier, or is there somebody else?
No, it's probably the Blue Jays or Guardians.
Oh yeah, the Guardians you're pretty much covered. You got your bases covered there.
Yeah.
I have no ill will towards the Blue Jays, really. It really is just the Yankees that I dislike. I guess everyone kind of doesn't like the Cardinals.
I was gonna say, for some reason, there's a general dislike in me towards the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And I don't remember why. Something from my childhood tells me F the Cardinals, and I have no idea why. I feel like I was never a big enough baseball fan to tell you why I dislike the Cardinals. I just know I dislike the Cardinals.
Yeah, I also
Can you tell me why?
So I don't know either, but I just know we're supposed to. Like like they did like steal. They are very like a pompous to a certain degree, and they did steal some like data a while back that was like a crazy like spy heist move. And anytime there's some sort of cheating like that, you skew towards that. Like again, I also just scrolling through these teams, I realize I dislike the Astros. I dislike the Astros. And there's certain players I don't like. Like I don't like Manny Machado. He's just his attitude has always rubbed me the wrong way. And when he slid into Dustin Pedroia and hurt Dustin Pedroia badly, I was pissed. I was pissed. I don't like that play. I had a rant about it the other day on this show with me and JL. I ranted about sliding into the second baseman, how it hasn't been allowed since 2015. But like that play, I hated it, and I hate Manny Machado. And when he struck out for the Red Sox to win, that was one of my favorite moments in baseball.
I wish I knew more about Manny Machado's personality to have a strong opinion here, but I'm going to trust you, Coop. If you say he's a jerk, then he's a jerk.
I'm sure he's fine, but like I don't like him. I don't like him.
I hear you.
Let's talk football. I got one more piece of football news before we maybe invite a friend on the show. I saw yesterday Marvin Jones Jr. headed back to the Lions. 1-year deal, $3 million base value, incentives that can push it to $5 million. And I gotta say, this is great news for Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams, in my opinion.
You think so?
I truly think it is, because again, I said this before.
He's playing a different role than either of those two players in this offense, right, Coop? It's what you've been telling us about.
Yes, and I said it before with DJ Chark. The devil is better than the one you don't, right? So they needed to fill this role somehow, if they went out and drafted a guy in the first or second round, now you have 2 first-round pick wide receivers, and whoever they bring in, or if they brought in somebody from this year's draft, you better believe that guy's going to get an opportunity. So, like, if you're rooting for Amon-Ra St. Brown, you want him on the field all the time. Well, if you look what the Jaguars did last year, they had Zay Jones on the outside, right? And then they had Christian Kirk on the outside opposite him. And this was for like 2 tight end sets, fullback sets. And those are the 2 full-time wide receivers. When Marvin Jones would come in the game, he would play on the outside and it would push Christian Kirk into the slot. To me, adding a player like that puts Amon-Ra St. Brown in the perfect position to be out there for 2 wide receiver sets. And then when you bring in Marvin Jones, he moves into the slot. So I look at that and you know what? If they don't draft a wide receiver, I will be in on Amon-Ra St. Brown for this season. I still don't know if I love him like full time, like for dynasty, all like for the rest of his career. But for the time being, if that's the setup, I don't think the Lions, they could have a tough time winning the Super Bowl doing that. But I think that for fantasy purposes, I'm in. So Marvin Jones to that team protects you from a worse. He's the lesser evil, right?
I'm with you. And we saw him be somewhat fantasy relevant. Know what I mean? Maybe not a guy you're starting every week, but he will have fantasy relevant weeks. And this is another offense that I think he can do that in. Don't expect weekly consistency from him, but man, I thought the same exact thing, Coop, whenever he came in, like they were going to add somebody. This is all right. Like this is so all right for this Lions offense.
Yeah, it's okay. It's going to be all right. Like, so it's great for Jameson Williams. It's great for Amon-Ra St. Brown. And then Marvin Jones, maybe, he came out last year. He had a 100-yard game, had a couple touchdowns. Maybe you throw a best ball dart at him because he'll get playing time here too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, guys, coming up, we got some more BYOB, the second course. And we have our friend Joey Wright joining us to help serve you some breakfast this morning. You're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network.
As a longtime baseball fan, here's my message to other baseball fans, to steal a line from the Packers' future Hall of Fame quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, RELAX. Everyone needs to relax after what we saw this past weekend as spring training games out in Arizona and down in Florida got going, and we're inching closer and closer to Major League Baseball opening day. The rule changes in Major League Baseball is not for myself. It's not for you out there, the hardened baseball fan, whether you're a fan 5, 10, 15, 30, or even 50 years from all around this great country. It's not for those that are going to be locked in. It's for trying to generate more fans. So if they want the pitcher to go out there and work in rhythm with a guy on base, begin the windup within 20 seconds, nobody on base, begin the windup within 15 seconds, or have the batter make sure that he's back in the batter's box within 8 seconds, then making the base pass first, second, and third bigger, eliminating the shift. All of this is to make the game better. We've seen leagues, whether it be the National Football League, do you think it's the same league as it is today in 2023, or what we saw in 2022 as it was 30 years ago? No, it's not. Is NBA basketball the same? No. How many games do you see being played? 83-79 finals. You don't see that at all. So every league adjusts to try and bring what? More fans into the sport. And that is something that Major League Baseball is going out there and trying to do. I've been critical at times of Rob Manfred, whether or not as a MLB commissioner, whether he likes the sport based on some of the rhetoric that he has spewed in years gone by. But I'm going to be honest with you, as a longtime baseball fan, I've been a Yankee fan my entire life. Watched a ton of Met games here in the tri-state area. Watched baseball all around. Can't wait for October baseball. Think it's absolutely unbelievable what is transpiring now and what's happening now, and the rule changes being brought about baseball. It's going to bring back to the game to when I became a fan, where the stolen base was something, moving guys over was something, having men on base, batting averages ascending, not being an all or nothing league where either you're striking out or hitting the ball over the fence. And that is what baseball is trying to do. So as everybody tries to adjust, and change is difficult, whether you're changing your diet, exercise routine, changing your relationships, changing a job, change is different. I get that. And it's hard. But let's take a step back. Let's understand what Major League Baseball is trying to do here. And they're trying to repopulate or repopularize the sport. That's what they're trying to do. They're clearly the third most popular sport in the United States. They want to make it less regionalized. This is the way they need to go about doing it. I'm all for it. For more content like this, download the Bettor Sports Network app or go to bettorsports.com.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network. Joining us right now again today is our favorite guest host, member of the FYF fam, Joey Wright. What's up, Joey?
Not a whole lot. NKC was saying my name in the chat, and as Coop has said before, I'm like Beetlejuice. You say my name 3 times, I show up. So.
Yeah, NKC, you convinced us. We weren't sure we were going to bring Joey on today, but we saw you begging for him in the chat, and we thought, you know what? That's a pretty damn good idea NKC's got this morning.
I actually could have made it on at 7. My wife got the kids out of the house early, but I decided to eat a banana. So, yeah.
So Joey, I noticed your outfit is coordinated today. You a little excited for opening day?
I heard you guys talking about baseball, and I'm like, can I fit into my old Atlanta Braves jersey? The answer to that question is no, but we're trying.
Kind of. Those buttons are screaming. That's a sick jersey.
Oh man,
though.
it is. It is. So I lost all my stuff in an apartment fire. In like 2006.
Yeah.
And I had I want to say 15 different Braves jerseys, but one thing I'd never owned was an authentic Braves jersey. So for Christmas that year, my wife at that time, was just my girlfriend, got me an authentic Braves jersey. So this is like on field.
That's
John Smoltz, who
I was gonna say John Smoltz. I was gonna
Smoltz.
say, dude, I was like, if I'm picking anybody, it's gonna be that one, dude. That's like the Mitchell and Ness. What brand or on field?
This is
like Mizuno.
This is when Majestic was doing
Majestic. Yeah,
I can't find the tag because it's so caught in my rolls.
Yeah,
but
it's filed away.
I might be taking this off after the first break. So
no, you can't, dude, because I'm going after the first break. I'm going to put my jersey on,
and I'm going to put my jersey on.
Yeah, so you
we'll
can't
all
take
match.
yours off.
We'll look sexy together.
I
We'll
don't
look
think
like
I
a bunch
have
of sexy baseball boys.
I don't have a Braves jersey, but I at least have one that's gray with red lettering.
Nice.
So
Yeah, this is my favorite jersey the Braves ever put out with
Yeah.
just Atlanta on it because it's the I like that.
Joey, do you have any opening day traditions? We were talking a little bit earlier. We know lots of people have like tradition every year. Do you have something that you do?
So my buddy Austin and I are always pretty big about opening day. We usually get together and go watch a couple games, but we have more of a spring training tradition. We call it the Bull Durham Beer and Pancake Summit. Before the first spring training game every year, before we all go, we all get together. We watch Bull Durham first thing in the morning, and we eat pancakes and drink beer. Now I don't drink beer anymore, but they still do. So that's like our little spring training tradition.
There's the Bull Durham pancake and no beer summit.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. Also, JL in here. What's up, JL? Welcome in, my friend. He said a bunch of sexy baseball boys. Indeed,
JL's a bub.
we are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, talking about jerseys, Joe, you said those were your favorite jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my favorite jerseys in the NFL are coming back this year. We just found out about it yesterday. Yeah. The Kelly Green Eagles jerseys are making their appearance back. If you've never seen them, I think Keith's got a picture of them for us that we can pull up and throw on the screen real quick. There they are.
Gorgeous.
God, they're like sex, aren't they? Like that green is just, I don't know what it is about that green, but it makes my soul happy. It wakes me up. There's like energy in that green.
Does it look like, is this Kelly Green?
No, that is not Kelly Green. That's like pond green.
Is that Randall Cunningham? Who is that?
Good snipe.
Boom.
Randall Cunningham. Who's that jersey? That would be my worst game. I would just stand here and feel stupid the entire time.
Bought that off a man's back as well.
Also, Dustin in here said hashtag Team Joey. What's up, Dustin? Welcome in, my friend. And then he said, psst. He's not a fan of this Kelly. You guys like the Kelly Greens? Because I know they can cause a split opinion. Some people really don't like them.
Why don't people? I don't understand why people don't like those ones. Because there are ones that I understand why they're divisive. Joey's team has probably the most divisive.
Why do people say that? They're so wonderful.
Most divisive? Yes. Most hated? No. I almost fought you because I do think the Steelers Bumblebee are more hated.
Oh, those
but
are
not
awful.
the most divisive because I think most people agree. The creamsicles, I think, are the most divisive. I think you're right.
Right, because people love. I go back and forth. I think
I love 'em.
right now, I actually love them. But there are times where I'm like, that's dumb.
JL doesn't. I don't. So I don't know if he doesn't like the color or me saying creamsicle. It's one of the two. JL does not like.
Creamsicle is definitely a very strange word.
The word
old
cream. I've got a weird relationship with the word creamsicle because there was a photo I put on Facebook in high school of me at Six Flags with my then girlfriend, and the sun was shining in such a way that there was an orange tint to the entire photo. And my friend's dad commented on the photo and said, "You look like you're stuck in an orange creamsicle winky face." And I deleted the photo and blocked him on Facebook. And I've avoided the word creamsicle in my vocabulary for coming on 20 years now.
You got to bring
10
that
years.
cream.
I'm not 38. I'm 28. That's 10 years.
Bring the cream back, dude. It's time.
Bring the cream back.
Give me that cream. There's I think
The Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. Give me that cream.
show us your feet and give me that cream. Good morning.
Wow, we just got a bunch of new people in the chat. Holy
the bots are loving that. Yeah, and if you guys want the bots to show up and support the show, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because we find that if we don't get enough likes, we don't get enough comments, then the porn bots never show up, and if they don't show up, how are we going to know we're doing our job correctly? So
how are we going to know we're sexy baseball boys and not just baseball boys?
Coop, do you ever respond to the porn bots on Twitter?
I do all the time, dude.
I love it. It's so much fun.
Like, especially when they send me like DMs, dude. Like, I'm just like, do you think that we could ever be best friends?
I always ask them for fantasy football advice. They're like, "How you doing, big boy?" I'm like, I'm not doing well. I've got Jamar Chase and I've got Justin Jefferson. Yeah, it looks like I got a great deal, but I really got to rebuild this team. What do you think I should do? And they're all like, "What?" That's
the best. You hit them with a baseball rant. No, I kind of step into their lane. I'm usually just like, is this what love is?
Mm-hmm.
Coop's wife walks in while he's having a deep conversation about love with a Twitter porn bot.
So like Twitter AI robot.
And he's like, honey, I'm just messing with her.
Like, will you be my girlfriend? Are we dating now? Like, those are the questions I have for the porn spam bots that hit me up. And sadly, no yeses yet. But we're working on that. But yeah, hit that like button. Come on, dude. Juice those likes up. Juice those numbers. Let's go. Create a second account. Create a second account. And hit
my mom I'm on this morning.
But Craig said someone needs to bonk this entire show. Yeah. We're feeling a bit bonky this morning. But
oh gosh,
let's get back to what we were talking about. I just wanted to say that like the creamsicles, the one thing that saves them is how amazing the old Bucks logo is with the knife in the mouth.
Oh my god, that's
like, it's so good. Every team has that old. I feel like every team has that. Like at one point, like the current mass logo for most teams isn't the best one. Like the Patriots with the guy, now I forget what everyone calls it, but the Patriots like older logo is better. The Falcons older logo.
Oh, the Falcons logo.
The Falcons older logo with the big wing, the big black one with the wing. Like that one's amazing. Like there's so many of them that are. The Browns have some interesting ones in their history.
I like the elf.
Simon.
I like Brownie, Brownie the elf. He's the
Brownie the elf. Dude.
I got
good.
That's my favorite Browns hat that I have is my Browns hat with a big old Brownie the elf on it. The problem with a brown hat is it like oddly doesn't match a lot of your clothes. Like a solid brown hat, brown isn't a color that goes with a lot of the colors I wear. So it's generally only worn with like my whites.
I didn't even think about that.
Right? Yeah, it's a weird hat color.
It's weird. You definitely can't wear with red.
Exactly.
It doesn't go with black. Like most of my clothes are black, so it's
right.
Like,
I wear a lot of black. It does not go well with that.
It doesn't go well with jeans.
I'm like the jeans king. I freaking love jeans.
Yeah, Brown. That's kind of
the wrong team for me. Honestly, not the best team.
Though honestly, the orange isn't that much easier. Like they really aren't giving you a lot of avenues to match.
I would say when I went to Clemson, I forgot how bright of a color orange was, because at Clemson at any given time, a minimum of 25% of the population of that city has bright orange on at all times. So you get kind of used to seeing it. And then you leave Clemson and you head home to, I don't know, Atlanta, wearing your bright orange Clemson shirt, and all of a sudden you realize the rest of the world wears nothing but like beige, and you're walking around looking like a highlighter, and the only place in the world where you look normal is Clemson, South Carolina.
But I feel like because Gators deal with this too, I think you just lean into the orange.
100%.
You just really lean hard into it. So yeah.
Yep, you own it. And then when people see it, they recognize you're Clemson, you're Florida. Auburn kind of gets the scraps of the orange. They get recognized more for the blue over there. It's got to be with the orange.
Bro, I never see people wearing Boston College stuff up here. It's so rare that you actually see a good amount of UMass. I think it's a bigger school, but like you don't really see a lot of like maroon and gold BC stuff. There's really not a lot of college pride up here. We're more, I guess there is
Protein pride.
Harvard. Yeah.
Coop, yesterday you mentioned I mentioned that I was the ball boy for the college basketball team, and Boston College actually came down and played. They were like the only Division I school to ever come down and play in like our Thanksgiving tournament. And it was when Dana Barros was with the team, and he ran me over, cut into the lane because he stole the pass, and I was still mopping the floor, and he ran me over. He was really nice that he picked me up.
That's awesome.
When Dana Barros was on the Celtics?
No, Boston
No,
College.
when he played for Boston College.
Oh, for BC, yeah. Dana Barros is the man. Like he built a I think in Foxborough, which is where the Patriots play, he built like a big sports complex with like batting cages and basketball hoops and everything. It's pretty sick.
Did he name it after himself?
I think it is actually the Dana Barros Center, or I think he might have sold it to somebody else, but pretty sick. Yeah, you got it. I mean, if you're gonna build that, dude, the whole point is to name it after yourself, is it not?
I think so.
And also give back. You give back to the community, but
Mhm.
you slap your name on there, like 100%.
Also, Tommy in here reminding you the name of that Raider is Pat. Pat Patriot is the old logo. That's hard to remember. So it understands why you forgot that his name was Pat the Patriot.
Well, that was the first thing that came to my mind, but then I thought to myself, like, that's also what they call the current mascot. Like, obviously, that's just what the mascot's going to be.
He just he had some work done. We got One Nation Underground saying, "Who day? What's up, One Nation?" And then said the Dirty Birds helmet was nice. And
so nice.
When you're wearing that orange, walking around looking like a deer hunter. Yeah, for sure. The Clemson orange or that Florida orange is not discreet. And we got George in here saying, "Hello, I'm NKCXX's Borther. What's up? Welcome in, NKC's Borther. Glad to have you." They changed the accounts because they're using his brother's alt.
Borther, his brother.
Oh, I thought it was like a family affair now.
Like the whole gang, dude. Get the whole gang in. Well, we appreciate you going on. Everyone, that's why NKC's the man. He's willing to go on to his alt. He's willing to go on to his alt account and fudge the like button on our channel. Which, you know what? We support that. We support that.
Oh, I think it's his brother.
Yeah, there you go. And whether you're watching the show or not, just leave it on. You know what I mean? Put it on in the background. Mute it if you have to. But that's a good way to support the show. You gotta
send it to your brother.
Send it to your
brother. Tell your brother to watch if you got a brother out there, or your sister, or your friend,
but not your uncle.
No, this is
definitely your mom though.
It's an uncle-free show.
Auntie Coop, absolutely. If you got an Auntie Coop, get her in here. Auntie Coop's not watching today, so if you have anything mean to say about Auntie Coop, say it now.
I have nothing but kind things to say about Auntie Coop.
Exactly. Now she has a routine checkup at the doctor's. So hoping that goes well. Good. Auntie Coop, we'll see you tomorrow.
Craig said, "My wife and kids have accounts I log into and like for especially good shows." I like that he withholds them. It's not just about getting the extra likes. It's truly about they deserve them.
Right. I love
Craig is chaotic good. He's got 50 alts, but he only uses them to like good content.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm hoping that we can earn some of those extra likes today, Craig. We'll what do you want to talk about? What do we got to do? What do we got to do to earn your likes?
We'll talk about dinosaurs. Talk about dinosaurs.
Talk dinosaurs. Who's your favorite dinosaur?
Well, let's see if this scratches Craig's itch. Sorry for saying it that way, Craig. But if you have an itch, we're hoping to scratch it. The Seahawks have legit interest in the top QB's prospects in this draft. This is coming from Mike Dugar. He says that's why the owner let Pete Carroll and John Schneider borrow her plane so they could hit each major pro day last week. Up next is a meeting with Florida's Anthony Richardson. So we heard some talk about this previously, right? And that they could be a legit team, even with Geno Smith under contract. But now it's heating up. They're flying out to all three of these pro days. Joey, do you think this is they're doing their due diligence for a strong reason? Do you think we see the Seahawks as a major player come draft day?
I don't see Will Levis going to Seattle watch him get drafted there. But I mean, they're not flying around for nothing. They're doing their due diligence. Richardson just seems like he fits in Seattle. Like he seems like he fits in Carolina most, but I don't think Carolina's going him number 1 overall. So yeah, I could see him going to Seattle.
What about you, Coop?
Yeah, I mean, did you just see the pictures of Will, dude? He looks yoked. Did you see?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen him.
Oh boy, like he put on serious muscle. Dude. Like they had the side by side. He went out of his way to take some pretty elaborate before pictures because he knew he was going to do this. Like apparently right when he got hurt, he took some pictures and was like, I'm just going to get yoked before I go to the NFL. I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. And boy, he look big.
Do you wonder if that messes like with his throwing mechanics though?
So I've definitely wondered that before in the past for certain positions. We actually had this kid in high school that did that, where like he was a very good pass catching tight end and he put on a ton of weight and was a very good blocking tight end, but lost a chunk of mobility to the point where it was noticeable. So I wouldn't go and do something like that without the direct supervision of somebody who knows exactly what they're doing. And you have to trust that him and his agent sat there and said, here's what we can do without, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure they were doing it in a way that you're not going to feel like you're out of your body, you know? So I think he's probably all right there. But I mean, we have seen in the past where guys put on weight and lose speed. You know, Jarvis Landry said that the Browns, when he went to the Browns, they asked him to put on weight. He put on like 15 pounds because of how run heavy the offense is. And then after he left, he said he lost a good chunk of that weight and he thought he'd be more agile. He got hurt, but you know, he said he's an example of somebody who straight up said, I used to be faster, but I had to put on 15 pounds to play for Kevin Stefanski. So it's definitely something that we've seen documented.
Yeah. And go ahead, Joey.
I know golf's a completely different sport, but I know like when you're a golfer, like when I was playing in high school, like my coaches, my dad were like, you cannot put like any muscle on without, like you said, direct supervision, because it will mess with your swing. Now I know swing's different than a throwing mechanic, but so using your arms. So
right.
Gonna change something.
For sure, dude. It's you gotta be careful with that. But again, with the amount of money that this guy has riding on it, there's no way he would have just gone and done that all willy-nilly. Or maybe there is.
I feel like we see it in college semi-regularly with these superstar freshmen that come in and they blow up the NCAA their freshman year. And then between freshman and sophomore year, when they have a full off-season training regimen, they put on 15, 20 pounds and they come in and it's rough sledding the first couple of weeks of that sophomore season. Like every time you see these guys, they come out looking like a man after they look like a boy their freshman year, right? Yeah. And you're expecting, oh, shoot, Trevor Lawrence has leveled up. Deshaun Watson has leveled up. I'm speaking anecdotally of like what I watched in college. And they come out and they're not the dude they were before. They're overthrowing players. They're not as mobile as they were the year before. It takes time to adjust to the new strength that's put on your body, especially when it's at that level.
Yeah, classic bull in a china shop situation.
Don't we know it?
Don't we know it? Don't we know it? Well, we got some people in the chat. Jay down here saying happy opening day. Let's go Yankees. What's up, Jay?
Oh, nobody agrees with you on that. Please.
Tommy agrees with them. We got 2 Yankees fans in the chat.
What?
It is funny that it's like that is more offensive to me than if you said let's go Orioles. The Orioles are playing the Red Sox today, and I'd rather have you say let's go Orioles than let's go Yankees. There's something about it. It's just
you and JL have a bet going.
It's deep seated. Me and JL.
Yeah, he's an Orioles fan.
Yeah, I know he's an Orioles fan. We should bet a little something. Loser eats every piece of glass in their house.
Okay,
wow.
that's a good one.
That's a good one. Really quick.
Okay, JL, it is officially a bet. Red Sox versus Orioles.
Hold on, let me check
all the glass in their house.
Let me check the line first. All right, Red Sox are favored. Yeah, let's put that on paper.
Also, welcome back, NKC. What's up, my friend? Craig told us what he wants us to talk about. He wants to talk about the Parasaurolophus and the Pachycephalosaurus.
Oh, so he did want us to actually talk about dinosaurs.
So, and just a little fun fact, the Parasaurolophus, or however the hell you say that, I don't know, because when you Google it, a little speaker icon comes up, and one would imagine with a word that looks like that, the little speaker icon would tell you how to pronounce the word. No, it gives you the sound of that
Oh,
dinosaur.
that's
Yes.
amazing.
That's better. That's a lot
So I'm
better.
listening to you guys talk, and then all of a sudden I hear like, ah,
I guess we know.
just like in my ear.
Was it an actual recording of the dinosaur,
I
though?
think
Or was
so.
it somebody making?
Yo, sidebar. You say that jokingly, but have you ever read the articles about the ancient accidental recordings that people made while making pottery? So like a piece of straw, like just so happened to be like dangling while they were spinning pottery. And like there have been instances where they've been able to play sound from ancient times from this pottery where they found it. Isn't that insane? Like just
That-
listen in on ancient times because they accidentally recorded themselves while making pottery.
That is bonkers.
Buddy,
The-
tonight? No, never mind.
How do they know?
It's
How
all
do
in
they,
English.
how do they know what these dinosaurs sound like? The funny thing is, these two dinosaurs that Craig mentioned, I would looking at the names, I would be like, I have no idea what those are. But now that I look at the pictures, I know exactly these two dinosaurs.
Packy's
They're-
the one with the little thing on its head, right?
Yeah,
The dome?
the Friar Tuck head. He looks
Yeah.
like Tim Tebow when he was getting hazed as a rookie, and they made him shave the top of his head. And then the other one has like kind of like a Jar Jar Binks looking head.
Okay.
It's like the big thing coming off the back that's like up here,
Mm.
you know. My only experience with these dinosaurs is them running alongside a moving vehicle in Jurassic Park, which is basically how I picture every dinosaur. You can you can find out real quick if somebody actually knows dinosaurs or not by just asking what their favorite dinosaur is, because most people will just say like T-Rex,
Velociraptor.
raptor. If you say raptor, you don't know a damn thing about dinosaur. If you say Parasaurolophus, then I know that you are in another league in terms of dinosaurs too. Man.
So what I saw a video one time where it was like my favorite question to gauge somebody, like just a test question to see who they are as a person, is I ask them, what's your favorite font? What's your favorite font? Because a couple things happen. They don't have one and they're unwilling to play with me. That's a person I'm probably not going to get along with. They don't have one, but they're willing to play with me. Know what I mean? They're willing to think, I don't know. And usually they give a basic answer, but I appreciate that person. They have one immediately. Means that they've thought about this before and they're ready to go. Like that's the kind of person I'm probably going to get along with.
What if they say Comic Sans?
That she did have that as a fourth kind of person.
What if they say Papyrus?
Then you're a buffoon if you
You're
like
an
papyrus.
idiot. They better be joking. Like, they should probably appreciate that joke.
Probably. Who doesn't love some good font humor? We got One Nation in here saying, I'm a Reds fan, so I might as well be a Yankees fan since we're their farm club.
Oh,
That was a good joke.
that's sad.
Sorry, One Nation.
That is
And
how it
Tim-
works sometimes.
Tim in here. Oh, I see you've heard the recording. Yeah, he knows what it says. The recording on the ancient pottery said, yo, your pottery is booty, LMAO.
Mhm.
Tim, I noticed you read the same article I did. We were both there.
Yeah, I also saw One Nation in here mention Izzy Abanaconda's. I think that's saying that right. His
The running back from Pitt, right?
Yes, he apparently had a crazy pro day. I've seen some kind of back and forth on what his actual 40 time is. It's obviously hard with pro days, but I mean, most people say 4.3 to 4.4. Fusu Vu, who's Devi Yusuf on Twitter, he does like his own timing and he's usually pretty good, but he's saying 4.5. So I don't know what ended up being official. All I know is that like even if it's 4.3 to 4.4, or even honestly 4.5, like that's awesome for this running back class. And his 41-inch vertical would have been like top 5 in the combine. He measured in 217 pounds, which is exactly what we want to see, right? Like we want to see guys that are like 5'10, 5'11, well over
He's
200.
5'11, right?
Yeah. Early declare. Like, so this guy, he's moving up. There were a lot of people that I know that get deep into this stuff, like the JWB guys. Shout out JWB.
Shout
Those-
out JWB.
Yeah, like Herms, Omega, Skyler, that whole crew, Wyatt, they've all loved that guy. So him coming out and doing this, I'm in. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, it was a player I wasn't paying as much attention to prior to his pro day, but now you start looking. Let's see what happens. Let's see where he gets drafted, right? If the NFL teams have the same reaction to what we do, he's got to be still like a day 1 or 2 pick for us to have any interest. We're really hoping for like round 2, round 3, right? And then we're like, okay.
I think round 3 I'd be okay.
Yeah, round 3
round
we're
4
good.
not so bad. Once you get into 5 and 6, then the numbers kind of show that you're in trouble, right? But I think even 4, I'd be okay.
But he needs that draft capital. That's the next step.
3 would be the sweet spot, dude. That's
3
like,
would be sick.
3 is all you need to get for me to say, well, Alvin Kamara was the 3rd round pick. So, and then
Also, One Nation Underground here helping us out said Abanikanda.
Abanikanda.
I think it's Abanikanda. There we go.
Abanikanda. Izzy Abanikanda sounds like a UFC fighter.
Or is it Banakanda? Because that word ban. If we're going to say
figure it out.
can, we kind of need to say ban.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I'll find it right now.
Dustin in here says if he gets the same round as Gibbs, he should be the 2nd running back taken in rookie drafts.
Whoa, Dustin. How could you be so brave?
That's pretty bold. Joey, are you that high yet, or are you waiting to see a little bit more?
I'll wait and see.
Wait and see.
Well, I think the thing with Gibbs is that most people say that Gibbs has like the highest floor, but his ceiling isn't necessarily crazy high because he is more of a pass catching back. So a lot of people are saying that no matter kind of in the modern era, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a guy that's supplemented by an early down running back for the most part. So that's kind of, I think that's where Dustin's coming from, is that like if this guy is drafted with a similar capital to Gibbs, he has the upside of being an every down back and being a full bell cow versus Gibbs, who I think a lot of people are feeling like his upside is like a Reggie Bush type guy. Or, I mean, honestly, his upside might be Kamara, but Kamara's never had a 1,000-yard rushing season in his career.
So One Nation Underground confirming it's banned. So Abanikanda. My apologies. I hate missing a name, messing it up, but I appreciate you looking out for us, One Nation. You're the man. Well, guys, I think it's that time of day to get into our weddle, try to keep our streak freaking going. You got to miss one on this show. You guys ready?
Yes.
You know what?
It's a lot of pressure.
I'm starting with a player this time. It's been a minute, and we are going to start with I don't know.
I don't know.
I said I was going to do it, and then I panicked. Jared Goff. We're starting with Jared Goff. Okay. 2 greens right off the bat. His age is correct at 28, and the height is correct at 6'4", but they are not a quarterback. They're not in the NFC, and their number is much higher than 16. Coop, this sounds like a tight end.
Tight end territory,
sniffed one
baby.
before.
Have you sniffed any tight ends?
I've sniffed a couple. Not great usually.
Was it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to get a good sniff of
those loose ends smell a little worse usually.
I don't know if I want to get a good sniff of like Tyler Conklin.
Oh,
why does that name just sound stinky?
I think part of it is that he's got like a huge beard. He looks like Rasputin, kind of. I mean, like it's a fact. Like I don't think I'm making that. Like
twirl his beard.
He's got one of those beards. So
you can't say. Did you guys have the game Let's Dance?
No, I did.
They had the Rasputin song on there, and if you had Let's Dance, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know this.
Everybody who had that game did the stupid little Rasputin dance.
Rasputin, yeah.
Lover of the Russian queen. And then they had like this dumb like little dance where you're like kicking your legs out and doing like this, and like it was so much fun, and you look so stupid. And one of these days on the Moreau, I'm gonna fill you guys in on the Just Dance lore that I learned about. They built it into their games in the background videos of the songs. There is actual like lore building in the world of Just Dance between the characters. So keep that in mind. That's gonna be my next Moreau, I think is Just Dance lore.
I like that, dude. I like
so we need a tight end, an AFC tight end. Coop, Joey, can you think of an AFC tight end?
At 28
what was the
years
age?
old,
28, and the height is 6'4".
Hunter Henry is 28. He might be taller than 6'4", though, but get him in there.
Yeah.
You guys want to try him?
Yep.
I know he's 28.
Sir Henry, let's see. Okay. Yeah, he's 6'5".
Okay.
So now we know that this player, their number is lower than 85, and they're not in the AFC East. So they're in a different AFC division.
And they're not a tight end.
So this is probably good call, Coop. I was still looking at tight ends. This is definitely a wide receiver then.
Yeah. So
T.
it's a wide
Higgins
receiver.
is tall. isn't
Not
he?
28.
I don't think he's 28.
Oh,
no.
he's not 28. You're right. Mike Williams.
Devontae Parker. Oh no, he's on the Patriots.
Keenan Allen's 29. so
Mike
it's
Williams, I'm pretty sure, is 28.
He is 28.
And I think he's 6'4". He might be taller, but that's a big
Isn't
guy.
what's his number? Is it 81?
JL is it's 81. Yeah.
Okay.
You guys want to try Mike
Yeah,
Williams?
Get him in
Mike
there.
Williams.
That seems.
Make
to
sure you
fit
pick the right
Mitchell.
Mike Williams.
It's Mike Williams,
Yeah,
baby. We did it.
we're
We
smart.
did it.
We are the smartest boys alive. Dustin, can we do the hard Weddle today or no?
He
We just
doesn't
do
let
it
us
anyway.
know.
I say we just do it anyway. Let's just
Yeah.
go crazy.
What if
We've
it's the lineman?
gotten the last.
We'll
2
get it.
days.
We'll get it.
We'll get it. Sorry, you're right. Don't doubt myself, Simon. Don't doubt myself.
Where's your heart?
With your friends, you
Where's
can
my
accomplish
watch?
anything.
Yeah.
This
Dustin
is now
says-
a shonen.
Dustin
This is
says-
now a shonen anime.
All capital letters says no.
Let's do it.
Do it anyway.
You want to? Nah, we'll trust Dustin. Dustin
trust
is
Dustin.
All
our,
right.
Dustin is the person who
He
determines
always-
whether or not we do it. He's got our
That's
back.
right. Yeah,
He's
he
got
does.
our back.
I'm doing it during the break though.
Well, guys, coming up, we've got some fantasy feud headed your way. Then we've got a post-mortem on the Cleveland Browns. We're going to play some hypothetically. And then our friend Eric Moody is joining us for Fantasy Detectives at the end of the show. You're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Talk about your picks and your fantasy teams on Better Sports Network.
The importance of checking out the site that you're playing on. Default rankings of these sites. A lot of times they don't get updated. I know from experience. I used to write default rankings for the NFBKC, the basketball version of the NFBC. I'd write these default rankings in June for the NBA, before the NBA draft, before free agency opened up. And guess what? I was never asked to write an update article or update the default rankings. This happens a lot. Maybe if there's something obvious, it gets updated. Aaron Judge, for some reason, hurts his back. Maybe they make that change. Just maybe. But you don't know that. And that's why it's just so important that you show up to your draft room or you do that pre-draft prep. We're all busy. We know we're about to devote a lot of time to our fantasy baseball drafts. Why not spend the extra 20 to 25 minutes to invest properly in your team, to go and see which of those players are way down default rankings? They're going to be different on all of these sites, and you're going to be looking at them and going, maybe their analysts think a certain player who shouldn't be in the top 100, who should be maybe even not even the top 200, will be in that top 100. You got to check that out. You got to know where you're playing, just like you got to know your format when you sign up for the league. It's just so crucial, and people just skip right over it. You think it's cool to show up to the draft room 3 minutes before the draft. Well, number one, it's not cool because the commissioner's trying to make sure it is organized, especially me, who runs auctions. You can't, it's one thing if someone doesn't show up for the snake draft, oh well, doesn't ruin it for everyone. Auctions, you can't have someone not show up. Auto bidding, auto auctioning, it ruins the sanctity of those drafts here, which is why I always recommend, hey, make it easy on your commissioner. Don't make them send those texts there. It's annoying. You shouldn't have to do that. Don't wait till the last minute and get in there about 20, 25 minutes before so you can just look up and down the entire default rankings list so you can make a queue out of that, Ron. And the reason I keep saying this is because people still show up 2, 3 minutes before the draft, and that's it. In fact, in one of my auctions, people were asking me where certain players were, and I go, did you search their name? No, I just got in. Well, that's no excuse right there. That's your own fault. I mean, you're organized, so when you're a hard person to ask here.
You're getting those questions. This is your preschool league, right? People don't know how to search player names.
People freak out. They don't think. That's the problem. Because they show up 2 minutes before the draft. That's why.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on Better Sports Network.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. I went to go change into my Braves jersey, But there was actually a man in my closet trying on all my clothes, and he had the Braves jersey on right now. And like he was halfway through. I wasn't just going to interrupt his workflow. He was almost done. So
How'd he look?
honestly, I'm going to have trouble putting it back on after I saw that man in it. He filled it out nicely. I just don't quite have the arms for it.
I was gonna put mine on, but then I did the hard whittle instead.
Did you get it?
I actually did, but it took me 9 tries, and I only got it because I was just looking at this team. It was Andrew Thomas. He was first round pick left tackle for the Giants.
Out of what school? Out of Georgia? Am I remembering that?
I don't remember what school he was, but I know he was like a top 5 pick.
For some reason. Where did Andrew Thomas go to school? He played at Georgia. Yep, I rememred his name
So we
from
could have
some Georgia games.
I mean, we would have got it.
See, I knew enough about him to know what school he went to, so maybe I at least knew that name in there somewhere.
Well, the helped that my first guess was an offensive tackle, so I had the position, and then I guessed 8 straight offensive tackles. It was like, because that's the thing is once you get the position, I got the position with the first one, so then I had to guess each division until I figured out what division it was, and then I just kept guessing people I knew until I got to 9. So it would not have made for good radio, that's for sure.
It's like on Wordle when your first word gives you like blank blank A blank E, and then the rest of the time you're just guessing words that like still like there's a million different combinations that could go in there, and you're just throwing darts at a board. Well, you boys might be throwing some darts at a board right now because we're about to get into our game that we're calling Fantasy Feud. If you've never played Fantasy Feud with us before, peek behind the curtain. I don't know who did this, but someone went in our rules in here that usually I peek at, uses an outline when I'm running through here. It now says, hosts take turns playing Family Sudajuks.
Definitely key.
Thanks, Chad GPT.
The rest of it has been deleted in there. This is the game. If you've ever watched Family Feud on television, it's a lot like that, but with more football and less Steve Harvey. I'm going to propose a category to our contestants, something like the top 7 PPR fantasy points leaders from last season. They're going to buzz in if they think they know number 1 on the list. Get number 1, you've got the opportunity to choose whether you want to pass or play. If you play, you got 3 strikes, and you need to get all the other answers there before that 3rd strike hits. Do that, you're going to earn all those points, but miss even one, your opponent has the opportunity to steal the points you have worked oh so hard for. All they have to do that is name one of the things missing from the list, one of the ones that you did not name. Now, the only other wrinkle to this game is if you name something on that initial buzz-in phase that is not number 1 on the list, your opponent can still try to name number 1 to get the opportunity to choose who's passing and who's playing. You guys ready?
So very ready.
Let's do it. We got Nick DiNuccio in the chat. What's up, Nick? Welcome in, my friend. He said, hey, good morning, boys.
Hey. Morning,
I don't know
love.
what it was about that one, but it's been weeks since I've like felt an AOA in my soul, and that one felt good.
It felt like you bellowed that one. Yeah.
Hey, we got Gator J in the chat now.
I just finished watching season 8 of Alone in the midst of my insomniatic episode last night, and I was like reading on Reddit. As soon as I finished it, I like had stayed off the Reddit. I was like, I gotta go to Reddit to see what they were thinking. And I looked up my favorite person from the season, and all Reddit was doing was ripping on her for her accent the entire time. They said she was faking it, and they said she's faking it. She's faking her accent. She's faking. And I was like, guys, she literally dug her house into the ground and survived on mushrooms for 80 days. And you're gonna hate on her for her accent? Grow up.
Yeah, I'm not
Can't
faking
stand that place sometimes.
I'm not faking me accent. This is just what me sounds like.
It's because you spent some time over there.
I spent some time there, yeah, for a bit in the ground eating the mushrooms, yeah.
Well, let's get into this game. Joey, you're going to be going first in today's game of Fantasy Feud, except that's not how this game works. So It's up to whoever buzzes in first, and that's who's going to go first in today's game.
Hope it's me.
Here is your first prompt. The top 7 MLB career leaders and record for home runs.
Joey.
Okay, Joey.
Barry Bonds.
There he
Barry
is.
Bonds is number 1 on this list with 762.
The greatest,
I'm gonna
the greatest baseball player of all time.
No, I will be saying that I'm going to play, and the greatest baseball player of all time is going to be said next.
Okay, and who is it?
That is Mr. Henry Aaron.
Henry Aaron is number 2 on this list. Mr.
Hammer and Henry.
755 home runs. He's number 2 on this list, Joey.
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth is number 3 on this list with 714. Joey just going in order methodically down the list so far.
How many more do I need?
There are 7, so you need 4 more.
Okay. Willie Mays.
Willie Mays is number 6 on this list with 660 home runs. So there are 3 remaining. You're 4 for 4
How many
so
did
far,
Willie
Joey.
have?
660.
That's a lot of dingers, bro.
A-Rod.
A-Rod is number 5 on this list with 696 home runs. Joey, 5 for 5 so far, only 2 remaining.
You got the 5 I would get. Now I don't know.
Sorry. So Bonds, Aaron, Ruth. I'm missing number 4, and I'm an idiot.
So I don't know if I would get 4. I can't think of it right now. Or unless it's who I think it might be.
I don't think Griffey, did he make it to 7?
Is that your answer?
Yeah.
Coming in at number 7 is Ken Griffey Jr. with 630 home runs. Joey, 6 for 6 so far. There's only 1 more remaining, and
I can't believe I'm missing number 4.
Ken Griffey had the sweetest swing of all time.
Yeah. They made a video game out of it where it was a cheat code to play with them.
Right. As it should be.
I'm just going to start.
And reminder to our
swings.
contestants, no looking at the chat.
Yeah.
No looking at the chat.
I'm just going to start taking swings at this. Ted Williams. I feel like
Ted Williams. I'm sorry, Joey. That is strike number 1 on that one.
He might have been on the list, but he went to fight in World War II mid-career like an absolute animal.
I know Pujols hit 600 because they made a big deal of it, but I don't think he passed Mays and all that. So I'm not going to say Pujols.
And now I will cross Pujols off my list of guesses.
Actually, I'll say
you.
Pujols just to get it out there. Pujols.
Pujols, final answer?
Yeah.
Joey, that is number 4 on this list. 703 home runs, a clean sweep, baby.
I guess they made a big deal out of
and then he just kept whacking him last year. Okay, well, good thing I illustrated that I would have got it just for everybody at home.
When you're a Henry Aaron fan, you know those names, but then when the new guys come in, you kind of forget them.
Guys, like Barry Bonds.
Nice job, Joey. That's going to be 7 points to Joey and an early lead. Shout out to some people in the chat getting these. One Nation Underground got Ken Griffey Jr. and Hank. Michael coming in, though, the only one getting Pujols, the last one on the list. And One Nation guessed Perez, my favorite all time. We had I
had Roger Maris written down too. One Nation. I just opened the chat here. JT Real Muto, maybe. Wishful thinking in KC. Maybe for catchers all time. But
hey, Mike Schmidt probably look it up. Is Mike Schmidt the most?
No. When all is said and done for Real Muto, he's still young. Yeah.
Aaron Judge probably he's a bit too young to make it on this list as well. But nice job, Joey. 7-0 to start this game out. It's been a while since we've had a clean sweep.
Baseball show
categories.
It's a baseball show, folks.
We're a baseball show now. Happy opening day. It's a baseball show. You guys ready for round 2?
Yep.
Yeah.
Only 1 strike on that one as well, Joey. You almost did it like the perfect round.
I was almost awesome. Not going to say Pujols because when you told me Mays was 660, I was like, no, because Pujols hit 600 last year. I guess it was 700 he hit that
monster.
Made a big deal of.
Yeah. Yep. Now, just for the record, I'm doing my fake American accent now instead of my real accent.
One of my favorite things in the world is hearing people from other countries do an American accent. I don't know. I doubt they get the same joy from like stupid Americans coming over and mocking, but watching someone with like an English accent just be like, "Hey bro, want to go to McDonald's?" is like top 5 funniest things anybody can do.
But they still accidentally leave. I like one that's like not good though, where they still leave some of their own stuff in there. They're like, "Yeah, gotta get me jeans in me truck." Yeah.
I feel like when I hear people that are not from America do American accents, it's always like a Texas accent too. They're
It
always
always
trying to do like
is,
a
too.
Texas guy.
It's always John Wayne, dude. It's always John Wayne.
Exactly. I mean, because I guess Westerns, you would think
Yeah,
like, that's where they're
100%,
getting it
dude.
from.
Yeah.
One
Absolutely.
Nation said so true.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful joy in life. I'm gonna go watch a compilation after this. I'm sure someone's put it together on
And
YouTube.
that's the thing, is it doesn't offend me at all, honestly. Like I really do.
cute.
I do enjoy it. You know?
We do sound like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I know some cultures and places do get offended by that, but personally, you have my permission to come up to me and be like, let's get some pizza. You know,
I also
or whatever
think
you wanna do.
we come from a place of privilege where we are not, this voice and accent has not been a cause of oppression for us or for people like us, right? And so that's generally, I think, where that line lies.
Yeah.
Like, has this been something that's been used against them for oppression or negative reasons? If so, it's not appropriate for you to use. If this is not something that's been used for those purposes, then it's probably fine. So if you're out there making an American accent, that's not that's all right.
We deserve to be talked down to. Quite honestly, yeah. Like if you want to call us fat, that's actually not even false.
Also, Michael said Benedict Cumberbatch is not great. Only downside to Doctor Strange. You mean biggest upside to Doctor Strange?
Oh,
My mowers just showed up, and which happened to Simon the other week. So I might be muting a little bit here and there.
That's all good. Well, we're gonna move.
Sorry about that.
We have a whole subgenre up in Boston of people that do terrible Boston accents. We could get into that one, but like there's always one. Like you can't have a movie like The Town without somebody getting in there and be like, yeah,
That's a great movie.
give me the car keys. Yeah, no, it is a great movie, but the Boston accent is one that can absolutely be overdone.
Was Good Will Hunting like a pandemic upon Boston when that movie came out? Everyone trying to do Boston accents.
Everyone always tries to do Boston accents. Yeah. Really, I don't think it was always a problem.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that you've had to deal with that, Coop.
No, it's fine. I think it's hilarious, dude. I think it's great. The best is when they're like, "You talk like this," and I'm like, "No, I don't."
NKC down here said I should do FYF funniest moments. That would be awesome if you did that. That would be really awesome. Well, guys, here's your next category. What I want to know are the 8 pro sport teams that change their name without changing cities. The older the name change, the higher up.
Without changing cities. Give me the the older the name change, the higher up on the list. Because I didn't let you finish. Yeah, you don't get to tell me. Great. How about the Guardians?
The Guardians are not on this list.
They should be
older. So they were more recent, Joey. If we're looking for old name changes.
Well, I'll go is it my turn?
Yeah.
The Washington Bullets.
That is the very first one on this list, Joey. 1997, the Washington Bullets to the Washington Wizards.
So because I wasn't listening, one more time, the older, the lower on the list, or the higher on the list?
Yeah, I'll read the whole thing again one more time now. So the pro sports teams that change their name without changing cities, the older the name change, the higher up the list.
Okay, see, Charlotte's a little weird because they were the Bobcats and then were the Hornets again.
Is that your guess?
So I'm going to say Charlotte, yeah.
Number 7 on this list in 2014, the Charlotte Bobcats became the Charlotte Hornets.
What year was that?
That was 2014.
Thank God you didn't pass to me because this is impossibly difficult. I don't know why you chose to play this.
I mean, they were okay. It's weird. The Tennessee Titans were the Tennessee Oilers for a very little time, but they changed cities. They were like the Oilers for 1 year, and then they became the Titans. Are they on the list?
Joey, they're number 2 on this list. The Oilers becoming the Titans in 1999. Nice job, my friend.
I'm sure there's some hockey ones that I'm going to miss. Baseball, it feels so like heritage based that it won't happen much in baseball.
Also, Joey, I accidentally lied to you. There are 7 on this list. The one and the Bobcats of the Hornets was number 6. One of these was listed twice.
Okay.
All right. I'm struggling past what I've just said. I'm blanking.
You can throw some.
I don't want to
random
eat up
guesses out there,
Showtime. Yeah, I
or
don't
you
want to eat up
can
Showtime.
you can just take passes.
No, you can't pass. Just throw some names out there.
Oh,
Just chuck them. Chuck them.
I feel like there's a hockey team that was. What's the hockey team in Atlanta? Are they even there anymore? Probably not.
We talked. You
Predators?
should have been watching the show at the very beginning. We talked about that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass because I don't want to eat up Showtime. So I'm
three
honestly
strikes
blank.
all at
Yeah,
once.
sorry.
And Coop, we actually have a little minor correction for you. The one that was listed twice in there was in place of the team that you listed. The Cleveland Guardians were supposed to be listed on there. Producer Keith coming in, owning the
Redemption.
So it's good that Joey it's coming back to you. You get your shot to try to steal this one now. It all works out in the end.
Right, because Joey, the thing is, I said Guardians. Joey said one that was higher on the list. He would have stolen anyway. So it's no harm, no foul. Except there, I was right and you said I was wrong. So I just want to make sure that's on the permanent record.
Yep.
How about this one? If this counts, there's a baseball team that plays in Tampa Bay, and they used to be known as the Devil Rays, but now they are known as the Rays.
Number 4 on this list in 2008, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays becoming the Tampa Bay Rays. Coop has stolen those points. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points towards Coop because the Guardians count. The other
I would not have gotten any of the. I had nothing. Just like Joey, I had nothing else in my brain. I might have had to leave it.
The next one is just as petty as the Devil Rays to Rays, but in
I just
hockey.
remembered one.
So in hockey, just as petty, where they just take.
I got it. I got that
it?
one now. Yeah,
what
is the Mighty Ducks became the Ducks.
The Mighty Ducks became the Ducks. The Anaheim Mighty Ducks. Joey, you said you remembered one.
Well, I mean, the Houston used to be the Houston Colt 45s, and then they became the Houston Astros. But that's probably too old.
That is not on this list. They were the Houston Colt 45s.
Yeah,
is that a real thing?
45s or something like that.
That's
Colt 45 was their logo.
What about What about the Dallas North Stars becoming the Stars?
I did not see that on here either. We'll have to. The ones remaining are the New Orleans Hornets becoming the New Orleans Pelicans.
Okay,
and then you're going to be upset about this one. The Washington football team becoming the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, I think the North Stars changed their name to the Stars when they were still in Minneapolis. I think so. They changed their name, then moved.
Okay,
to Dallas.
What's that? Minnesota Wild. Minnesota was in my head, but I was like, I don't know the history of it. So
yeah,
I remember I had a friend freshman year from Minnesota, and I invited them over to watch the Minnesota game. Minnesota was playing in like the NCAA tournament or something like that. And I was like, oh, like they were a Minnesota fan, like growing up. Now they're Clemson. I'll invite them over. And they came over and were wildly disappointed when it was basketball and not the Minnesota Wild game. So like they legitimately didn't stay the whole time. They came over, watched part of the game. They're like, yeah, I'm going to head out. This isn't hockey.
Are you still friends with that person?
No. It was one of those freshman year. Hey, we all got dropped off in the same place. Let's do 100 trial friendships and see which ones stick. Know what I'm talking about? The people you just like, let's go to the dining hall. You're in my class.
Gotta shoot your shot. Shoot your shot.
Also,
I once go ahead.
I see Hal in here saying, funny story. If you're trying to speak a different language to a native speaker, you need to do the accent or they won't understand you in an American accent. American arrogance is not being willing to embarrass ourselves. 100% true. It's that's whenever you go to like Mexico, if you just stand there, yo, hablo español, you're going to sound like a fool. You got to try a little bit, put a little bit of effort in there.
Yeah, I try. Especially like Catalan. That's another one that like you really got to do it. Otherwise, it's tough.
You said the language Catalan?
So it's like a version of Spanish that has some slight differences, but there's also like kind of like a lispiness to some of the words. And even people that speak Spanish say that like unless you kind of do it that way,
I know the language. I didn't know. The only reason I know it is the country of Andorra has 3 official languages and 3 full education systems: French, Spanish, and Catalan. So you can go to get a public education as a citizen of Andorra in either French, Spanish, or Catalan, the language of your choosing, at least as of the last time I checked, which wasn't very frequently. You guys ready for that next round? The score is 7-5. In reality, whoever gets this one is probably going to be our winner. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? There's a couple left. What do you guys want? Do you guys want baseball or football?
Let's do in honor of opening day. Let's do baseball, right, Joey?
We'll do one more baseball in here. And since I'm not playing, I am perfectly fine with that.
Figures
What I want to know are the top 7 MLB teams with the best opening day winning percentage.
Holy smokes.
Joey.
Okay, Joey.
I'll go New York Yankees.
The New York Yankees are number 4 on this list. So they
Okay.
are on the list. Coop, if you want to take a shot at naming one of the 3 teams higher, you can, or you can let Joey decide what he wants to do from here.
I'm also going to take a shot on it. How many teams?
7
Total?
and Joey got number 4.
So
Keep those guesses coming in the chat. We'll shout you
just
out if
because
you're right.
I'm just going to will this into existence, but give me, since the Yankees are 4, please tell me Boston Red Sox are somewhere in the top 3.
Coop, I got good news. They're not. They're nowhere on the list. So, Joey, you get
Losers.
to decide whether you want to pass or play this.
I'm going to play because I feel like it's winning percentage, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I'm going to go the St. Louis Cardinals. I feel like
This-
they're always solid.
The Cardinals are not on this list. That's going to be
Whoa.
one strike,
Okay.
Joey.
I feel like my Braves always lose on opening day, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say them. So Atlanta Braves.
Joey, you and Cooper in the same club. That's a strike for your favorite team.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
This is borderline
This
impossible
is-
task.
Yeah, this is
Does
tough.
anyone remember the keyboard shortcut for undo by any chance?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Otherwise, I don't know these answers.
In Notion?
Oh, we got it. Control Z,
Okay.
baby.
Good job. All right. So I said the St. Louis Cardinals, and that was wrong, which I was really surprised at. And I said the Atlanta Braves, which I knew was wrong because I played with my heart like Coop and got it broken. Let's go Seattle Mariners.
Seattle Mariners are number 2 on this list, Joey. Nice
Pulled that out
job,
of my
my
butt.
friend.
Los
Joey.
Angeles Dodgers. I feel like Dodgers will win on opening day.
Dodgers are number 7 on this list, sneaking in right down there at the bottom. Nice job, Joey. So far you've got Mariners, Yankees, and Dodgers, and you've got 2 strikes.
Dude, all you did was now load this up with enough right answers that if I get one, if you miss and I get one, I win. Like I'm sitting here when you were celebrating, I was like, perfect. Now I win if I
You're
get
right.
it.
Joey could have secured the win, or at least
You
the
could've-
tie by
I
getting
should've just
that
said
first
Rays.
one, getting
By just
3
getting it wrong.
strikes, and then sending it to you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yankees
So
and
now I gotta
Dodgers.
play it. San Francisco Giants.
The San Francisco Giants are number 6 on this list. Joey,
Why are
you're
you-
staying alive.
How are you crushing this?
Because then I started thinking like legacy teams.
But it's winning percentage. It's not even total wins.
I know. So what can you read me what I'm missing? What numbers?
1, 3, and 5.
And he's got the Yankees, Dodgers, Giants, Mariners.
Yeah, he's got Mariners, Yankees, Giants, Dodgers in that order.
Chicago White Sox in honor of Dave Richard.
Chicago White Sox, Joey. I can't believe you keep doing this, but that's your 3rd strike, meaning this is going to
Oh,
Coop
nice.
for an opportunity to steal. Coop, you get one of these 3 remaining teams. You
Opening day.
win. If you miss it, Joey wins. It all comes down to this one team. Can you name number 1, number 3, or number 5 on the MLB teams with the best opening day winning percentage?
It's such a random thing because it's just one game to start
Yeah.
the year, you know? I just want to pick teams with nice weather. There's also some teams that like you want to guess like Cubs, but the Cubs actually sucked for most of forever.
Yeah, right.
How
That's why I said
about
Cardinals because they were good.
right? Yeah, well, I was like, dude, the same thing. I was thinking along the same lines. What other teams are like historically, generally pretty decent? Which you've actually did a pretty good job of naming those. I'm just
The
gonna,
Royals.
yeah, I'm just gonna pick a random team. Honestly, how about the? Why wouldn't the? Wait, actually, you know what? How about the Phillies?
Phillies?
Yeah, Phillies.
Well, Coop. Joey is the winner of this game. Phillies are not on the list. The remaining answers, I'm checking to see if I see them in the chat. Oh, well, Yes, I do
I wanted
see
to
them
guess-
in the chat because there are a lot of guesses from NKC rules in here. I like the method, throwing them out there. NKC, you got most of them in your guesses over there. Phillies are not number one, unfortunately. You guys,
give Joey one more guess. Let's each get one more guess to see if we can snipe one of
Okay.
these randos.
For some reason, I've got Brewers ringing in
Dude,
my
the
head.
Brewers were bouncing around my
Yeah,
head too.
I don't know why though.
well, there's a reason. It's because you guys are both stupid. They're not on the list.
Are the Twins on the list?
Which Twins?
The Minnesota ones.
Oh, the Minnesota ones. No, they're not.
God damn it.
Mary
All right,
Kate
good.
and Ashley are on.
Yeah,
the list.
Mary Kate
They
and
are
Ashley on the list?
racking up opening day wins. They're
Was
doing
Coops
nothing
good
but
weather?
winning on
Classic parent trap.
Should
It's good
Cooch
weather
have stayed on the
comment?
good weather thought train with the San Diego Padres?
No,
Diamondbacks.
they're all in cities that you wouldn't think of as traditionally good weather cities. But this time of year, maybe actually no, it's not nice in most of these cities this time. of year.
Rockies?
No,
The Mets.
grayer. The Mets are number one on the list at 40
well,
and
because they're
21.
Wow.
The worst team in the baseball.
Think of another bad baseball team right now. Right now, they're very bad.
Right
Could
now
be
they're
Orioles.
very bad.
You're playing them today.
Orioles. Oh my god. I thought Orioles
Orioles are
too. And I
number
was like,
3 on the
no.
list. And then,
What?
Coop, you said out loud number 5 and said it's not them. They were bad for a long time.
Cubs.
Cubs are number 5 on this list at 80, 65, and 2. A 0.5.
I went the wrong
Cubs.
Chicago.
That's
did.
Cubbies.
You did. So, Joey, you're going to come out on top in this game, though. The winner of Fantasy Feud on this beautiful Thursday, March 30th, 2023. Do you have any words, any people you'd like to thank?
I just want to thank Hank Aaron. I've read his biography, and had I not read that, I probably wouldn't have known 5 of those names.
Also, Hal in the chat was
Hank Aaron.
adamant that it was Houston, and the Houston Astros wanted Houston to get in there, and then said I was almost not as bad. Almost, yeah,
They
you
were
got a couple of them hanging.
The Astros, people forget, the Astros were able to build the team they have by being terrible for so long that they were able to accumulate so many high-end prospects. That they had so many high-end prospects that they had to pick between JD Martinez and George Springer. And they picked George Springer, but you really couldn't miss.
It worked out. NKC in here saying I knew one was Cubs. Shout out NKC. Nice job. And then Tim in here said, thank me, Joey.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, brother. I'll see
Thanks,
you tonight at 6:05.
At 6:05. That's a reminder for everybody watching. Tonight at 6:05, we've got fantasy football pub trivia. So you should come and hang out with us, play some pub trivia. And it's right after the Front Yard Fantasy Hour over on the FanDuel YouTube channel.
I'm
guys,
streaming
coming up-
4.5 hours today.
Yeehaw!
I'm excited.
That's a busy Thursday, Joey.
Yeah.
Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit about this past season for the Cleveland Browns. We're going to play some hypothetically, and then we've got a game of fantasy detectives with our friend Eric Moody from ESPN coming up. Right now, you're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network.
Monday Night Rants with Edward Rouse on Bettor Sports Network.
Do you believe in the Madden curse? Do you think that's a real thing?
I did. Now, I don't think it's as big of a deal anymore, but it was a real thing for a solid 10, 15 years.
Yeah, it was Sean Alexander, LaDainian Tomlinson, Peyton Hillis.
LT was never on the cover. I know that.
Was he
never
not?
on the cover.
I thought he was one. Okay, well, you do know all the covers of everything.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want, I could do this real quick. So Garrison Hurst is the first official Madden cover athlete, 1999. 2000, I believe they still put John Madden on the cover, and then 2001 is where it all started. So 2001, you have Eddie George. 2002, Dante Culpepper. 2003, Marshall Falk. 04, Michael Vick. 05, Ray Lewis, first defensive player on the cover.
Okay.
06, Donovan McNabb. 07, Sean Alexander.
Okay.
08, Vince Young. 09, Brett Favre.
Okay.
10 is a trick one because it's
No way you know.
and Larry Fitzgerald. 11, Drew Brees. 12, Peyton Hillis. 13, Calvin Johnson, I believe so.
You're right.
14,
No way you know all this.
14, also a trick question.
Uh-huh.
I believe that's the Madden 25 cover, and it's Barry Sanders, unless you got it for the new consoles, in which case Adrian Peterson
Oh my god.
was on the cover.
You're not cheating. You're not looking at.
Swear on my life. Swear on my life.
Okay, keep on going.
15, we have Richard Sherman.
Okay.
16. Oh, okay, hold on. 16 is Odell Beckham.
Okay.
16. 17. Now, this is the one I get mixed up because 17 and 18 are back-to-back Patriots.
They are.
17, I think, is Gronk, and 18 is Brady.
You are correct.
19 is Antonio Brown.
Correct.
20, Patrick Mahomes.
Oh my goodness.
21, Lamar Jackson. 22, Brady Mahomes. 23, John Madden. Yeah, dude, I'm a cover nerd when it comes to this stuff.
We now know, but that was really impressive. I don't know how.
Thank you.
That's literally 29 of them or something like that. Wow, that is. You did not miss a single one, and you even got the special editions where they had 2 people on the covers.
Monday Night Rants on Better Sports Network.
What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. We're about to talk a little bit about the Cleveland Browns past season, what went down with them, what we're expecting going into next year. And I think it's one of the more interesting teams to talk about. A lot of moving pieces going into last season, a lot of change within the organization, the team. We got some more change coming for that team this year. Before we get into that, though, some people in the chat, Hal down here saying terrible teams win on opening day. It's the only day they have fans. Yeah, they're out there showing up on day one and then disappearing for the rest of the season. One Nation said, do you guys do mock drafts? We do mock drafts. Sometimes we do them on here. On this show, we generally do about 2 rounds. We'll do the first 2 rounds of different mock drafts. But then over on the Front Yard Fantasy YouTube channel, every other Thursday at 6:05, we are doing live mock drafts that you guys can participate in. We post a link in the Discord to join, which should be down below us in the video description here if you're watching on YouTube. You can join our Discord, and then next Thursday we'll be doing one, and then 2 Thursdays from then on our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy. So check it out. Check it out, baby. Also, guys, it is opening day. So in honor of opening day tonight at 7 Eastern, there is opening day action on Bettorcast, their live Q&A contest where you can win real cash. So join them at 7 Eastern time for the White Sox at Houston Astros game to compete in the live Q&A contest here on Better Sports Network. You guys ready to talk about some Cleveland Browns?
But before we talk about the Browns, can I show the audience something?
Yes, you may.
My daughter Eliza's preschool pictures came in, and I'm going to die.
Angel.
Oh my God, she's so cute.
My wife is so beautiful, and I'm lucky they look like her.
Man, I think I'm going to be in trouble if I ever have children. I might just cry every day.
It's
every
awful.
day. How are you not bawling right now? That's your child.
I went to get water on the break, and my wife, I see her sitting there, and then I just see, and that's not even the cutest one. Oh my God.
Wow.
Okay, let's talk about the Browns.
Let's talk a little bit about these Cleveland Browns. They went 7-10 last year, finished last in their division after maybe some hope for the season, but a lot of people considered it maybe a lost year because they had Deshaun Watson coming in to take over at quarterback, let Baker Mayfield go, Deshaun Watson signing that fully guaranteed contract with a lot of controversy, and then wasn't able to start for the first 11 weeks. We had Jacoby Brissett in there starting for the first 11 weeks, and this team really ran through Nick Chubb during that time period. But now next year with a full offseason, we're going to have Deshaun Watson playing the whole year. I want to start before we move on to Deshaun Watson, talking a little bit about Jacoby Brissett and what this offense looked like with him in it, because it did change when Deshaun Watson showed up. And just from my eye, it seemed to work a little bit better the way it was running with Brissett, probably because he practiced with the team more. What did you guys think about his play this year? Enough to get a starting job somewhere else next season?
So that's the thing is I think Brissett, he's betting on himself with the move that he made this offseason. He signed with the Washington Commanders. Yep. And like, if I'm a guy like, if you believe in yourself, then you look at a guy like Sam Howell or any anybody who's getting the job that isn't like because a lot of times, like if a team drafts Trevor Lawrence, you don't want to put yourself in that competition because they've invested so much in him that he gets the benefit of the doubt by far.
You're
But
going
a
to
guy
have to
like
be leaps and bounds better to start over them.
Exactly. Because it's like, the fans are invested, everybody's invested. But a guy like Sam Howell, like they kind of took him, I think, third round, fourth round pick. Like he was a bit of an afterthought. Just barely got to start at the end of the year. Didn't really set the world on fire in the basically one game he played. So it's not like it would be at the end of the world for your franchise for him not to win the job. And we've seen a ton of guys get drafted in the third round that never play at all, like Kellen Mond and guys like Ian Book and whoever, like these guys that. Again, you haven't made too much investment. If I'm Brissett, I show up there and you just show up to practice and be like, hey, I'm a professional, I'm a veteran, and I'm better than this guy, and hopefully you win the job. So I think that was smart of him to do. And worst case scenario, you have what Taylor Heineke already described as one of the best jobs in the world, which is millionaire backup quarterback that doesn't have to get tackled by 300-pound dudes.
Yeah, it works out all right, doesn't it?
That's
not
it
a bad
does
gig.
Works out just fine. Like you're not getting hit in practice, you're not getting hit in the games, right? You're getting $1 million minimum because he's been in the league long enough that you literally can't pay Jacoby Brissett less than $1 million. So pretty good deal, I would say.
Yeah, it works out. Joey, do you think there's any chance he beats Sam Howell out for that job? I know a lot of people are on the Sam Howell hype train at this point.
I want to say that maybe I'm like riding the caboose of the Sam Troll hype train. Like I did kind of like what I saw at him for that one game, but it might have been because I didn't really like anything else I saw at Washington last year. I think Sam Howell will probably get the job coming out of preseason, but if he flounders in those first 4 games, the switch is easy to make. Brissett looked good with Cleveland last year, so
yeah. Now we're going into next season with Deshaun Watson as the starting quarterback in week 1. He came in week 12 against the Houston Texans, played the rest of the year and did not look fantastic. But this is a guy who hasn't played football in 2 years and didn't get to even train with the team, right? He was forced out of the facilities for the majority of that suspension. Are you guys expecting a bounce back from Deshaun Watson, maybe looking closer to what we saw previously whenever he was playing with the Texans?
Yeah, absolutely. Deshaun Watson was a player I was telling people do not draft, even in late rounds. Maybe in Dynasty, yeah, go ahead and draft him, but don't plan on starting him this season. Because like you just said, he sat 2 years basically and didn't play football. Wasn't able to practice with the team. I mean, you hit all the points of why you shouldn't play him coming back for a 5-game stint. Now he has a whole offseason with the team. I'm expecting a much, much better season. And they got him some good weapons too. So, yeah, I like Deshaun Watson quite a bit this year.
He's going to be just fine, dude. That's the thing is that like you forget that we're all like, there are people that are rooting against him, and I think that that's fine. Like you can root against people for whatever reason you want, and Deshaun Watson has probably given us plenty of reasons to root against him. But the reality of the matter is that when you're rooting for quarterbacks to like fall off or whatever, they need to either be like on their rookie contract where nobody will sign them next, or towards the end of their career where you're just like, I'm sick of this guy. I hope Aaron Rodgers is done. This guy's 27 years old. Like the reality of the contract and the skill level of this player is that he's not going anywhere. Like he might not be a top 5 quarterback, but I think he's plenty good enough to be a top 10 quarterback or top 15 quarterback. And if you're a top 15 quarterback, then you're a starting quarterback in this league. So I think people are just going to have to like this whole notion and dream that Watson is washed and he's done and he's just going to go away. I think that's a bit of a pipe dream. Like, I don't think Deshaun Watson's going anywhere.
No, he's still young, and I still think he's going to be good for football.
Yep.
He'll be good for football. We got Howell in here saying, I saw a tweet where Sam Howell liked a collection of Howell rookie cards a guy was showing off. That's awesome.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's pretty awesome. Sam Howell saying, I'm going to make you some money next year. And Howell also saying, happy cries and sad cries, Simon, every day whenever you got kids. Makes sense. Makes sense.
So one of the spots in this on this offense I wanted to ask you guys about, like, we know Amari Cooper. Simon, give us a point, please. The over the shoulder point, that one. There you go. The Amari Cooper is probably locked in here. He was very close to having the best season of his career last year. Like, I think he only if he didn't have it, then he finished a couple yards short. So even with Jacoby Brissett, he was locked in. They're paying him a lot of money. He's good to go. The real question for us for fantasy football is Donovan Peoples-Jones or Elijah Moore. This team uses so many 2 tight end sets. Kevin Stefanski does. He loves them. They still have Harrison Bryant. They brought in Jordan Akins, who played with, Watson. But we'll get to the tight ends later. But they're definitely going to use 2 tight ends to some degree, which means 2 wide receiver sets. If you had to put your money on a horse right now to play more snaps this year, forget targets, forget everything else, forget fantasy points, just more snaps on the field, would you put your money on Donovan Peoples-Jones or would you put it on Elijah Moore?
I'd actually put mine on Elijah Moore. He didn't just play out of the slot in New York. He was kind of all over the place. I don't necessarily see him coming off the field as much as people think he will with Donovan Peoples-Jones on the field.
I'm with you. I tend to think it's Elijah Moore.
I hate that.
I like Donovan Peoples-Jones. This isn't an anti-Donovan Peoples-Jones take. It's exactly what you said, though, Joey. I think Elijah Moore is the one who stays on the field whenever they pull a wide receiver off. And
again, Donovan Peoples-Jones, 6th-round pick. The fact that he even has been fantasy relevant at all has been a win for your fantasy team, Yeah. But might be a good idea to maybe try and cash out now. Like, even if you cash out for a 3rd-round pick, that's more than you usually ever get from a guy drafted in the 6th round. There's very few. Like, the draft process is getting better and better to the point where there's really not a whole lot of 6th-round Antonio Browns floating around out there. The best 6th-round wide receiver since Antonio Brown has been like, I'm not even kidding, it's like Quincy Enunwa. It might be Donovan Peoples-Jones at this point. Like, yeah. So you're kind of playing with house money there. Now, there are a few guys.
I want to know first if Moore can take the top off. If you throw him some beads,
that's not him. Only in when they play New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
But so he's not. DPJ, good Michigan alumni, and it's funny. It seemed like there was a thought process where those Michigan teams were struggling early on when Harbaugh was there. So even if the stats weren't good, people were taking their shots on players coming out of there, and it worked for a few teams. Like Nico Collins looks all right too. I still have a soft spot for Chris Evans on the Bengals, but anyway, the deep threats are DPJ, and also they have Anthony Schwartz, who is a speedster, and they brought in another speedster, an Olympic athlete, Marquise Goodwin. They signed him this offseason, and he's been a guy. Well, you shouldn't, because it never works. But he will have that one game where he scores a 70-yard touchdown, and some people, but that's what he does. That's
when I'll fall for it.
This team has like 100 wide receivers under contract right now. They just are like, they definitely came out and were like, I don't care. We're loading up, so they have all these guys, David Bell, Jalen Darden, Michael Woods, Jakeem Grant, who's going to return kicks, Marquise Stevenson. I mean, it's like crazy how many they have. So they're going to have to trim this team down. Are you guys holding on to David Bell at all in dynasty leagues where you have him?
Yeah.
He's a 3rd-round pick.
I'm holding on. I don't have, with the number of wide receivers they added, it doesn't look like they have a ton of faith in him, but he was a guy that I liked coming out. He was a rookie last season, played with Jacoby Brissett for the majority of the year. I'm going to hold him. I'm going to hold him one more year and see if maybe he steps up into that wide receiver 2 role. But man, did the Elijah Moore move put a damper on any David Bell hope for year 2.
Yeah, it couldn't have been worse.
No, it couldn't have been a worse player for the hype of David Bell. Joey, are you in on David Bell?
Sorry, the mowers are by the door again. If I've got him in dynasty, I'll hold him. I'm not too excited for him in redraft for any reason, though.
Yeah. No, what I was saying was solely a dynasty play, not even a best ball play where I'm throwing darts at David Bell, because even if he does pan out, this offense likely will still be a run-first offense. This is an offense that looks like it's going to run through Nick Chubb yet again. I know they've got Deshaun Watson under center, so it might be slightly more passing than we're used to. But it's definitely going to be a run-first offense. Joey, are you as bought in on Nick Chubb next year as people were this year? Are we going to see the same thing? Or any concerns for that guy?
The only concerns I have for him are the obvious ones with the age, like the drop-off might be coming sooner rather than later. But until that drop-off comes, I'm not that worried about him.
Yeah. I tend to do the same thing with a guy like Nick Chubb. I haven't seen any signs of that drop-off's coming, so I'm still holding on to Nick Chubb and drafting him fairly early. He doesn't have that receiving upside that some of the other top backs do. but that just knocks him down a tier. Coop, whereabout are you taking Nick Chubb? I know all the receiving backs are definitely ahead of him, right? Like you got the Austin Ecklers, the Christian McCaffreys, those guys that have that upside.
Thing is, he's capable of catching passes. I mean,
They just don't
we've
really
seen
use
it
him that way.
before. Yeah, but they've always had Kareem Hunt. So for me right now, I'm taking him in like underdog best ball drafts that I'm doing right now. I'm taking him pretty decently high with that upside, but they could go out and draft like Jahmyr Gibbs or somebody. If they draft someone who's a clear pass catching back, then we'll just have to put Nick Chubb back where we usually draft him, which is like second, third round, because clearly they want to keep doing what they've been doing. But if they don't, I mean, I look around at the depth chart, it's like, Jerome Ford and John Kelly, like these guys they're not going to come in and steal a bunch of targets, in my opinion. So, that's where I'm at. Like right now, Nick Chubb is looking poised to potentially have one of the best seasons he's ever had. They still have a really good line. Like Joel Bitonio is one of the best guards in the league. Ethan Pozick, the center, he's a great player. Jack Conklin. Why can't this team be good? So David Njoku is a great run blocker. Like I'm in on Nick Chubb. It's just you got to keep an eye on the draft, which is going to happen in a month, to see if they try and upgrade over Kareem Hunt versus just kind of letting Nick Chubb take the full gig.
So where do you guys think the Browns are in terms of odds to win the AFC North next season, according to FanDuel Sportsbook? Like in order. You don't have to go like tell me what the odds are, but if you had to put those teams in order, where do you think the Browns are?
I mean, the Bengals seem like they'd be first.
Bengals are first. Bengals are sitting at plus 110 first overall.
Man,
it's a tough division to predict, isn't it?
Second, yeah.
Yeah, I figured it would be the Bengals at 1. The thing is with the Ravens, those odds kind of are just sitting in the middle of Lamar leaving or Lamar staying. Like if Lamar announces he's coming back, those odds are probably going to jump.
Yeah, and Lamar the Ravens are definitely being affected by that. They're at plus 330, third on the list. The Browns are actually second at plus 310. The Steelers fourth at plus 600, a little bit further behind these guys. But the Browns are right in the mix for this division, sitting at plus 310. Vegas doesn't have them too far behind the Bengals odds-wise whenever it comes to winning this division. I mean, a decent chunk, but not the crazy gap that we're seeing in some of these other divisions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
some of them are nuts.
The Steelers, man, like that's the thing is that you're betting, and that's how quarterback heavy this sport is. You're just betting that Kenny Pickett is awesome. That he just takes a huge jump if you're betting on the Steelers. So I'm not willing to do it, but plus 600, maybe somebody will. But you really have to believe in Kenny Pickett because the rest of the team looks fine. It's just that one player that it all falls on his shoulders.
You're right. Those aren't bad odds if you believe in Kenny Pickett. Meat Mansion down here. He was waiting to come on the show. We missed him, but I think I know why he wanted to come up. He's down here, and I was waiting. I was hoping one of you two guys was a Demetric Felton fan because I know there's a gaggle of them out there. The guy's clamoring for Demetric Felton, and Meat Mansion is one of them. Says Felton's better than Nick Chubb already. How do you guys feel about that?
The thing with Demetric Felton is he signed to the team or is he a free agent still? I want to say that they could keep him as a restricted free agent if they offer him a deal, but I don't know if he's actually on the team right now.
There was a ton of smoke about Kareem Hunt, going elsewhere and that Felton will come up, but Kareem Hunt's still there, isn't he?
I know. It looks like Demetric Felton still is. He's under contract.
Yeah.
So yeah, Felton's there. Yeah, he's interesting as the potential Kareem Hunt replacement. If they don't bring in anybody, then why not, right?
Yeah. And Hunt is a free agent, hasn't signed with any team yet, as far as I know. We'll see. I don't think the Browns plan on bringing him back, but the running back market may be suppressed enough that they can get the kind of deal they want with Kareem Hunt, bring him back. So we'll see. Also, Hal in the chat saying my birthday is mid-April. I get opening day, the Masters, NBA playoffs, and NFL draft. Sober April is not an option. And the hockey playoffs on top of that.
Woo.
That's a good sports month. It's a pretty damn good sports month, April.
Yeah.
You get the Final Four from March Madness as well. You didn't even put that in there. March Madness finishes up in April as well. It's beautiful.
That's true, dude. The Kareem Hunt, the landing spot that I picked for him that I think fantasy gamers might not love it, but I think it'd be a great fit is Seattle. If he because they have Kenneth Walker, great early down back, but they lost Rashad Penny, they lost Travis Homer. They need somebody to kind of complement their starting back. So bringing in a guy like that as a pass catching back would fit pretty well, and he wouldn't take away from the early down work of Kenneth Walker. So it'd probably be a good match.
Yeah. It wouldn't kill my Kenneth Walker. I'd move him down a little bit, but not a whole lot. Like I would actually really like that fit. I'd really like a Virgino. Wow.
Right. It'd be nice to have a guy that can just come in. Like Kenneth Walker's a starter and he plays first down and he plays probably all your high leverage situations. So goal line for sure. And then maybe even Kenneth Walker's good enough that if it is like a 2-minute drill, you still keep him out there to catch passes and run around. But you have Kareem Hunt to come in and spell him on obvious pass downs, which is something we know Kareem Hunt can do. So I think that would be a good fit that wouldn't hurt the value of Walker too bad, because the flip side, people got to realize, again, it's just like we talked about with the Lions. If they go and draft Jahmyr Gibbs and they spend up on a pass catching back, now that guy is definitely going to have a role. So you don't want that. Yeah, you don't want the Kareem Hunt is probably the lesser of two evils.
Dustin in the chat has no love for Kareem Hunt, saying my landing spot for Hunt is the XFL. He is toast.
Wow, toast.
Dustin coming in hot,
man,
with the Kareem Hunt takes.
Could be toast.
Well,
man.
Last minute predictions for the Browns next season. Do they make the playoffs? Yes or no? Coop?
No.
Joey?
I think they sneak in.
And I'm going to go
7
with Coop.
teams.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no, they don't make it, but we'll see.
We'll come back to this episode.
We will come back to this episode this time next year.
The problem I run into is I have the Bengals winning the division, right? So then now they have to will have one of the best records. And I look around and I'm like, okay, if I have the Bills winning the AFC East, I think the Dolphins could also make the division out of there. And if Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback for the Jets,
I was going to say, don't sleep on the Jets either.
That's what I mean. It's like there's 3 teams out of that division that I think have a good chance. And then you go to like the AFC South kind of stinks, but the AFC West, it's like you got the Chargers, the Chiefs are almost certainly going to make it. And then why can't the Broncos make it with Russell Wilson? It's almost like you have to pick Broncos versus Browns. Who do you guys like better, Broncos or Browns? Russell Wilson come back or Deshaun Watson come back? Because that's going to be a battle
give me a month. Give me a month to think on that one.
If you really think about it, I know it's early and anything can happen and anything will happen. But if we're putting the Chiefs and Bengals in the playoffs, that's the premier battle in the standings is like Broncos, Browns. Who's going to be that wild card team?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to think on that one. We'll have to see how these teams look after the draft, what other moves they make, and but I think you're right, Coop. That might be the line.
That's a great poll to
Also,
put out there to see what people think.
Russell Smelson. Good one. Got him.
Good job.
Freaking got him.
Yeah.
Man, he'll never recover from that one. Well, guys, coming up, we got some hypothetically. Coop and Joey are going to take you guys through some hypothetical situations I throw their way. Then we're going to play some fantasy detectives with our friend Moody. Right now, you're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network.
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray. Weekdays at noon Eastern, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
I just opened my inbox, and there was a little connection to a story at the local paper about salad bars are coming back to St. Louis. We haven't had them since COVID, Ray. I'm a big salad bar guy. I love going to the local grocery mart and doing a salad bar. I get it. Kind of disgusting. Hell, they put a sneeze guard over the food.
What is this? Some kind of force field around these vegetables.
That's the sneeze guard. You have to lean under it to get salad or sneeze on stuff.
But all these disappeared. Ray, I used to use the salad bar probably at least 2 times a week for lunch. And I would just load up because I didn't have to cut anything. And I didn't have to buy like a whole cucumber. Just have a little bit of cucumber in my salad. I'm a big salad bar guy, but these things have been gone for 3 years. And I think I'm going to get back into the salad bar game, baby.
I used to love buffets and salad bars and all that kind of stuff. And I haven't been to one since COVID.
I'll tell the story quickly. My nephew, who at the time I want to say was 5, we were on a little trip, and we went to, it was a brunch and everything like that. They had ice cream. So my nephew doesn't know any better because he's 5. Puts his spoon in the ice cream, which is cool, right? He's going to spoon it out, fine. But he doesn't spoon it out into his bowl. He spoons it into his mouth and then sticks it back in the ice cream. And I'm like, so we had to talk to the manager. I had to get him to pull the ice. And I started thinking to myself, you look around, people are,
yeah, that 5-year-old germs wasn't going to hurt anybody.
No, but you know what I mean. Then you look at this old person and they're grabbing the. It's just when you start thinking about it, I have a real struggle at this point with it now because I've thought about it, but I used to love going to them previously.
Well, and everybody's using the tongs there. Everybody's touching those. God knows where those hands have been.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I've yet to see anybody actually sneeze under the sneeze guard. Maybe if I see that, Ray, it'll change my whole outlook.
Right? It's like
there is a reason the sneeze guard is there. It must happen enough that somebody said, we got to put these suckers in.
Yeah.
But I love salad bars, and I'm back in, Ray. I've never gotten sick off one, so it's easy for me to say, but I'm getting back in the salad bar game.
Okay, good luck.
Good luck.
Make bets and follow your fantasy team while you buy, sell, and trade collectibles in real time. Only on Bettor Sports Network.
Today is baseball's opening day. Celebrate with us on Bettor Sports Network.
Play ball!
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network. It's in the freaking beans, and we're about to get into some hypothetical beans in a game we call Hypothetically. It's the game where contestants are forced to go down a hypothetical path as far as they can go, ask questions, explore undiscovered opportunities, find every way that you could overthink this situation, and that's the only rule. Before we do that, though, I see One Nation Underground with his playoffs prediction for that conference going Bengals, Chiefs, Bills, Jags, Jets, Chargers, and Browns, saying the Browns do sneak in there with that last wild card spot. I can see it. Jags, we didn't even bring up the Jags as a potential team, but they were they can make some noise next year. They could be a playoff team next year. Surely,
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, their team arguably got better with Calvin Ridley coming in. So, yeah.
Oh, man. Calvin Ridley wearing the 0. I'm so excited. Be good, Calvin Ridley.
I was happy for JL. Did you see T. Higgins switch to the 5s, and now his jersey behind him? It's like a little more relevant.
There we go.
Yeah.
I didn't even see that. I didn't know he changed his number.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You just cover up the 8. His jersey behind him is 85, isn't it?
No, I think that's what you said, somewhat relevant.
Oh,
He's
does.
got the Clemson jersey.
Yeah. Oh, the Clemson 5. Oh, nice. Yeah. I mean, as long as you have the Clemson one, it doesn't, but I guess, it is nice to have the same number. Yeah. But
Jay in here saying too much Braves in the stream. Yeah, I went and changed into my Braves jersey during the break in honor of opening day. We got it. We got it now. And this jersey has no player name on the back, and I got it driving home from work one summer in college when I saw a sign on the side of the road that said jerseys for sale, the number 4, and I turned down this road, and a woman was in her garage with more jerseys than you have seen in your entire life. I bought they were like $15. I bought like 10 of them and gave them out as gifts for a year.
Nice.
No names on the back of any of them, though. They're just jersey templates. Just a blank jersey template. Also,
still solid.
Bettor in the chat wants to know, Coop, is Bill really going to end his legacy with Mac Jones? So there's been rumors and gross speculation that Robert Kraft is looking intently at Bill Belichick and his job and his performance after the memo that he sent out to season ticket holders. Coop, are you buying into this? How I viewed it, I read through the memo and the quotes that people were talking about, and it really seemed like Robert Kraft just letting them know, like, hey, I care about the fact that it's not living up to our expectations, not I'm firing the greatest coach that ever played the game if he doesn't perform this season.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, all good things must come to an end at some point. I ideally want it to be at a time when Bill Belichick just decides that he wants to step away, but hey, sometimes you need a change. right? The concern, of course, is that it's just Tom Brady all over again, where you let Tom Brady leave and then he goes and wins somewhere else. Like they could let Belichick leave and then he goes to another team, and it turns out the one thing they were missing was a few
Bill
corrections
Belichick.
that Bill Belichick could make, So yeah, that's always the concern. But again, the Crafts, it's their team; they can do whatever they want. So if he does retire with Mac Jones at quarterback, then it is what it is. Like Mac Jones, I trust. The thing, we have a saying up here, which is that in Bill we trust. I trust that Belichick, with talking to Nick Saban, who he's good friends with, truly believes that Mac Jones has the upside of winning a Super Bowl. So I'm on board. And if he thinks it's Bailey Zappi, I'm on board. And to argue that I know better than Bill Belichick it's a long argument. So I'm on board.
That's a pretty
with it.
short one. You're not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
So,
I can sum it up in 2 words.
Right. Right. Like there's a lot of situations where I can argue like that I think that the GM is doing a bad job or he's doing whatever. But at this point, like you, as a Patriots fan, you just have to believe that they can do
It's
it.
the
And
same group that got you 6 Super Bowls.
Exactly. And I trust them. So, and even the bad seasons, this team wins 7-8 games. Like, Matt Castle won 11 games when Brady got hurt. Like, I trust Belichick to win games. It's just sometimes you don't have it. Winning the Super Bowl is hard. Only 1 out of 32 teams gets to do it each year. So if they don't win another one, then that doesn't mean Bill Belichick's not a great coach to me. You literally can't take that away.
No, not at all.
Right.
We got
Like,
a
you can make an
over
argument.
here wanting to trade for Lamar and get rid of Bill, saying let's trade for Lamar and get rid of Bill Belichick. But a Lamar for Bill trade?
But
have Harbaugh and Bill Belichick co-head coach the Ravens?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if Harbaugh's coming back, if Harbaugh's coming back this way, then that would be a fleecing, right? Because I would rather have Belichick, but Harbaugh's still a really good coach. And
would you rather have Harbaugh and Lamar or Bill Belichick? Probably Harbaugh and Lamar.
Harbaugh and Lamar, yeah. And plus, hey, Harbaugh's a bit younger than Belichick. He gets some more years out of it. So
also, I see Hal over here working grind from the BSN chat, popping over in YouTube, challenging you guys to beat him at Bettorcast. Hal's been a machine over there, winning like crazy. So go over there and compete against Hal as well tonight during that Astros White Sox game. I also see Bettor in here saying they won't grab Lamar. The Cam Newton experiment did not go so well. I think they're different players. Cam Newton's arm was dead. Know what I mean? To compare them, I think is a little bit like of a lazy comparison because Cam Newton at that time couldn't throw the ball more than 5 yards, right? Like maybe at Cam Newton's peak, that would have been like an apt comparison between the two. Like I see where it's coming from, but we got to look a step deeper at Cam Newton that year. He couldn't throw the ball 5 yards, man. And Lamar Jackson, I'm just watching highlights of Lamar Jackson throws from last year. Dude can throw. I don't care if he misses a couple. He's got an arm.
His shoulder was shot, and I think people forget that. Like,
he couldn't throw
Cam
like
Newton,
6 yards.
the Cam Newton rushing experience in New England was good. Do you guys remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember how many rushing touchdowns he scored? Cam Newton for the Patriots,
like 12 or something like that.
12.
Yeah,
nailed it on the head, Simon. Attaboy.
Nailed it.
Right on the dot. 12 rushing touchdowns. So I mean, like, if you have a Cam Newton that can throw a little better, I think that'd be great. It's just a matter of getting it done.
Yeah. And Lamar Jackson, I would say, is a Cam Newton who can throw a lot better. Maybe not as big bodied, like running into the end zone as Cam Newton, but he's got rushing ability that Cam never had.
Now you got to think about this because it's like Lamar Jackson, like I know they're talking about trades, all this. Lamar Jackson, at the end of the day, can only sign one offer sheet. Basically, it's like whatever the best offer is, whatever offer he likes best, he signs that, and then the Ravens can match that and keep him, or they can let him leave, and then they get 2 first-round picks from that team. You have to believe that even if they're low balls, like he has offer sheets on his table, like his agent, or he doesn't have an agent, but he probably has a stack of offers from a bunch of different teams, right? Like, why wouldn't you, even if you don't necessarily want to overpay or pay him big money, why wouldn't you just say, hey, the deal you're on right now is 1 year, $32 million. We'll give you 1 year, 40. Here's our offer sheet, and just send it to him. You know what I mean? Like he might not take it, but it's sitting there. You have to imagine he has a bunch of those offers in already. No, like so someone has to send him something.
Here's what I'm thinking. These teams at the top of the draft, at the very top of the draft that need a quarterback or that are looking to trade up into the top of the draft. Why the hell would they give up this year's first round pick when nobody's biting and they can wait until after the NFL draft and give up 24 and 25? Know what I mean? These teams that are sitting there in the top 5, 6, 7, take your top 10 pick. No one's given Lamar a contract yet. You're a little bit safe. Know what I mean? There's clearly a waiting game going on. Play that waiting game. And then I bet after the NFL draft, we're going to see some big money. I wouldn't be shocked if we see exactly what Lamar Jackson asked for after the draft. The only difference is the price went down. They're still paying him the exact same contract, but your 2 firsts are now your first from 24 and 25, which with Lamar Jackson will hopefully be lower picks.
That's
right?
smart. Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm thinking. I think that's why we're not seeing anything. The teams that need a quarterback don't want to give up their 23 first. They want to wait and they want to give up their 24 and their 25.
It'd be great if Carolina, they make their first round. Well, no, it wouldn't be Carolina because they're probably going to take Stroud, but the team that makes that pick makes the trade right after they make their pick.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you can do that, but it'd be kind of funny.
Hallen here says Houston and Detroit have 2 first rounders. Make the first pick, then mid-draft sign him. Yeah, that's another option. I think there's some like draft pick shenanigans going on because of the way the first two first round picks work.
What an exciting draft night too.
Mm-hmm. We could see some Lamar movement on draft night.
Mm-hmm.
Hal had a question about Lamar. Said, is Jackson not being accurate on the outside, or is it on the receiving talent, or is it on Lamar and he's getting better every year? So do you guys think some of those outside passes, is that a Lamar issue or a receiver issue, or maybe Porque no
it's potentially a combination of the two, but the problem that we run into is that we don't have a sample size. We don't have the control sample size because we don't have a season where he's had more than one elite wide receiver. We've seen Marquise Brown.
Are you kidding me? Sammy Watkins and Devin Duvernay.
I forgot about the dude. Great, honestly, great punt and kick return. We forgot, like, we've seen him with Marquise Brown and Mark Andrews. That was the best we've seen for weapons for him. And with those weapons, he threw 36 touchdowns and was the MVP of the league. Right. We've seen him, 2 years ago, both those guys got 150 targets. Last year was supposed to be Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews, but then Bateman got hurt. So we've never even seen a situation where this guy had 2 wide receivers. Like, how do we compare him to some of these other teams? How do we compare him to Joe Burrow throwing to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd? It's impossible to make those comparisons unless he actually has the weapons. And as of right now, they haven't done anything to improve that situation this offseason, right? So it's just hard you can't compare apples to apples.
No, absolutely not. Also, I see Bettor in here saying, man, I want him to go to the Jets, Lamar to the Jets, the big switcheroo instead of Aaron Rodgers.
It would be really funny.
That'd be wild, dude. Yeah,
no, I saw someone point something out about Aaron Rodgers the other day that just made me laugh. So, like, the idea of it happening is great. So the reason it sounds like they've agreed on 2 second-round picks for Aaron Rodgers, right? Like, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be 2 seconds, 2 higher seconds, but it's going to be 2 seconds for Aaron Rodgers. The contingency that's holding it up, supposedly, is that the Packers want some sort of protection if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play the following year. So they want some sort of protection on one of those picks if he doesn't play, or the Jets want some sort of protection on one of those picks if Aaron Rodgers does not play the following year, right? Like, we want it back if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play in 2024. Mm-hmm. So there's a potential situation where even a year after Aaron Rodgers left the Packers, he's still holding them hostage in the offseason with retirement news over a second-round draft pick.
That'd be hilarious.
Wouldn't that be incredible? He's off the team for a full year on the Jets, and the next offseason, the Packers fans are still stressing about whether or not Aaron Rodgers is going to retire.
We've seen this kind of funny business before between these 2 teams on another quarterback, by the way, where the Packers traded Brett Favre to the Jets. There was a stipulation in that deal that if Favre was then traded within the NFC North during that season, then the Packers would get like 2 first-round picks from the Jets. There was like a rule in the contract that he could not be traded to the Jets and then immediately traded to the division where he wanted to play. So Favre just played 1 season for the Jets and then immediately signed with the Minnesota Vikings. But like they did do this before. You can put those caveats in there to be like, okay, like we know this guy's up to something, so let's put some stuff in there to prevent all this from happening. So
smart. That
is interesting that he almost like now would have to play 2 seasons for the Jets. Kind of wild.
Hallen here saying the Packers suck. They deserve everything they get for mishandling 2 Hall of Fame QBs.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, haven't you heard? Don't you mean 3 Hall of Fame QBs. Didn't you hear? Jordan Love's locked and loaded Hall of Famer. That's what I'm hearing.
There's a lot of Bart Starr hate on this show today.
Well, Bart Starr wasn't mishandled. That's the difference.
This is true.
He was handled properly.
He was just a well-handled Hall of Fame
Handled with
quarterback.
care. Gently handled.
Gently handled with care. Well, guys, I think we got time for one hypothetically. You ready to get in there?
Yeah, let's do it.
I got one good one for you guys, and this is what I want to know. Excuse me. Sorry.
I thought you were just building up tension. Which
No, sorry, that was gastric tension, not dramatic tension.
Still building up.
Here's the question I have for you. What show would you like to be trapped in for a month if you had to be trapped in a TV show?
Ooh,
I like that. What show would you like? Okay, so.
And then I have a follow-up once you determine the show, but I want you to determine, this is a two-parter, but you're not getting both parts at once because I don't want part two to influence part one.
Well, I have some questions, obviously. Are we allowed to bring things when we leave the show? Can we bring things out with us?
No. So you're going to walk through your television and then back out. And it's like, have you ever played the game Portal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the little barriers that whenever you walk through, it resets everything. Anything you were holding disappears. Any of the things, that's what's going to happen. So the TV screen is like a barrier that only you can pass through. Jay said Golden Girls. That's a good one. And Bettor said cartoons included. Yeah. Cartoons included.
I like that. Now I have another question, and Joy, I'm sure you have some questions as well. Like, do the characters know who I am, or do I have to introduce myself? Do I just kind of like jump in with the gang, or do I have to like introduce myself and be like when I show up, are they like, oh yeah, Coop, or do I have to be like, hey, hi, I'm Coop, and then we spend a bunch of time getting to know each other, and then we can kind of do whatever we're gonna do.
That may be revealed in part two. Right now, it's just about what show you want to live in. What show would be the best environment?
Okay, cool.
So think,
Joy, what do you got for
less
questions?
character
I'm
specific and think more setting and activity based here.
So I'm going very like to the heart. When I was 16 through 22, my favorite TV show was Dawson's Creek. I would love to be trapped at the creek. It's Wilmington, North Carolina is where they filmed it, and it's beautiful there, right by the Cape. Not actually in Massachusetts. But you know, I in real life I did marry Joey Potter, so it'd be kind of cool to hang out with the actual Joey Potter. But Dawson and I would just be watching movies all the time together. We would kick Pacey to the curb because don't need Pacey, you know, if I'm there. So yeah, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate from the Pacey club. Man, I've made some comments about Pacey in the past, and they find you on Twitter. But yeah, I'd be Dawson's Creek. I would like to hang out with Dawson Leary and
Joey's
get in that love triangle with Katie Holmes.
Joey's living for the drama with that choice.
Yeah.
Easy Abs in the chat said Succession. I have not watched that show, but from what I've heard, that sounds like a very stressful existence.
That sounds
Simon and I
terrible,
agreed
bro.
to watch it together this off season.
I got I got my answer. I'm ready for.
What's your? I was going to say House of Deep Space Nine all day, and then we've got Three's Company or the A Team from Bettor, and I think and One Nation that hasn't picked one yet, but crossed one out, so not Lost for sure.
Yeah, see, I thought of Lost, but you get to be in that beautiful location, but you don't get to get any of the nice stuff about it. It's all pretty stressful.
There are way more that would be terrible than are good. Like I've been spending this whole time thinking ones that are terrible. Just like my brain immediately is like, what would be awful? And I'm like, Squid Games. Like, you know what I mean? Like my brain has a hard time picking the ones that would be fun. But I think I would pick pretty obviously I would pick Rocket Power, because they live in Hawaii, and it seems like all they do is just hang out and play extreme sports all day. Like they're just like cooling and, you know, skateboarding and surfing,
like X Games mode 24/7.
Right. The problems that they run in, I do remember there even be many problems that they would have. Like those shows were literally every episode was just them like, oh, let's go do this awesome thing and make fun of Sam.
Radical.
Right. Yeah. Radical, dude. And
you're
just
a squid is what Easy Av says in the chat. You're a squid, dude.
Yeah, right, bro. I'm definitely at the very least, I'm Maurice. But
Bettor with a similar
probably Auto Rocket.
Honestly, I feel like Baywatch is the same answer, just yours is for children. Yeah. Like we're just hanging on the beach doing cool stuff. That's what Rocket Power is. Okay, so now that you've got Rocket Power, Joey, you've got Dawson's Creek. you're not just being transported into it, you're turning into one of the characters from that show.
Ooh.
Which character from that show would you like to be? So you are not Coop. You are going to switch places with somebody in there. You don't have to worry about them being weird in your life. It's just you going into theirs.
Yeah, I'll go first because I think I already answered it, and I've thought a lot about this. I would just become Pacey because Pacey's awful, and I want to hang out with Dawson because I feel like he needed a true friend on that show. There, that's my answer. It's kind of lame, but it's true.
Pacey winner.
Yeah,
Joey, you're gonna fix Pacey.
Yeah,
Joey's
honestly,
gonna be-
I have no problems. I have no problems with Pacey. I just like really love Dawson Leary.
Hal's going to be Commander Cisco from Deep Space Nine. Bettor's going to be the Hoff. That's a great choice. And Jay's going to be Rose from Golden Girls. That sounds really nice, Jay, actually. Honestly, of all the answers, that's the one I like. I might
Rose
do
is
the most.
Is Rose the horny one?
I
No, that's
don't
Blanche.
remember. Yeah, Jay, I think you meant Blanche.
Because I know Jay wants to hang out with Betty White. So I don't remember Betty White's character's name, though.
I don't remember either.
So
Coop,
you
what
don't want to
character?
be Betty White. You want to, like...
Yeah.
Sorry, Coop.
So I feel like most people would probably pick Otto. Like he's obviously the main character, very cool dude. His sister Regina also cool. Twister kind of the man, but he's a behind the camera type guy. I'm more of an in front of the camera type guy, so not sure I would go there. Maybe I would pick Squid and just try and elevate his game a little bit. But for me, I think I'm going to go with Tito.
I was hoping you would go with
Tito, dude, just chilling at the Shore Shack. Good vibes all the time. Shaka bra. Like literally, I don't think anything in the world bothers him except for shoobies and posers. So I would just be hanging, dude, just giving words of wisdom, just living the dream, dude. So yeah, give me Tito from Rocket Power.
Tito from Rocket Power. That's a solid choice. JL in here saying on Golden Girls, they're all the horny ones. 8 points. It's a bunch of horny ladies on Golden Girls. Golden Girls.
The one that like sprays herself. Who's that one? Is that Blanche? I don't know.
I don't know if I've ever seen an episode of that.
Coop brings up something funny. Like there's a lot of shows that are worse to be in than you don't actually want to be in. Like Twin Peaks is like my favorite TV show of all time, but I wouldn't want to be there because people are dying left and right.
Right, like
Put
Breaking
my ass in
Bad,
BoJack
awful.
Horseman, where there's just animals running around. I am. That's hilarious. Half the people are animals, and no one acknowledges that it's weird.
Yeah, but there's an easy answer for BoJack Horseman, and that's
Mr. Peanut Butter.
You being Mr. Peanut Butter because
Without a doubt,
he's just chilling, man.
you
Shout
get
out
to
Paul.
be a dog and the world's biggest celebrity. You're gonna kill it, man.
Shout out Paul F. Tompkins, and he just has a good vibes, good attitude, Mr. Peanut Butter. Not the smartest, that's okay.
Also, Jay said I changed my answer. Joey makes a good point. I'd be Sophia, the old Italian woman. Fits me well. Does fit you well, Jay.
Sophia.
What would be the worst show you could end up in?
Squid
You said to
Games.
name one. Squid Games,
Oh.
number one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Squid Games feels pretty high up there. I mean, Game of Thrones would probably suck because
Oh.
you're probably gonna die.
And it would smell, dude. That looks like it smells.
Yeah, a lot of smelly, a lot of leg hair.
Pretty smelly business.
What's the name of that show that I watched one episode? Chernobyl. Have you got? It's based on
yeah.
that. I mean, and it's based on that would be the worst show.
Yeah,
you
way to
could
pick the
possibly
disaster
land.
show.
That one. If you
Not-
were looking for a TV
not
that
great.
makes you never sleep again, honestly, that might be where my sleep troubles are coming from. Is I watched one episode of Chernobyl a month ago, and it has. They did a great job with that show, and I am not built for television that intense.
I wouldn't want to be in The Last of Us or like The Walking Dead. Like, it would be fun to fight zombies for like an hour, and then I'd be like, oh wait, I really might die.
Tim said Attack on Titan, and then One Nation Underground said The View. Yeah, if you had to be on The View for a month.
Oh god.
Yeah, Chernobyl will be so bad, dude. Like, you did not see concrete on the ground because there was no concrete on the ground, or whatever that part. Like the guy that's just like 3.6 Rodkin, not bad, not terrible. Like it was pretty bad, dude.
So I didn't watch Chernobyl because I heard a lot of dogs die, but now the Coop's done that impression, I feel like I have to watch it. 'Cause I
gotta
want to see
watch
what he's
it.
doing.
It is, yeah.
He did The Last of Us. The people
There's
who did
so many
Chernobyl.
good quotes from Chernobyl. I wish I remembered more of them because there are so many good.
I gotta get back into it. I
It's
also
all
see we got
walk-
Kevin Frank in here. What's up, Kevin? And Kevin
Kevin.
said, I'd hate to be in the Twilight Zone.
Ooh.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty bad one as well. That one, and you would never be able to get used to your surroundings because it would change every single day. Every day, it's a new horror in the Twilight Zone. Guys, coming up, speaking of a new treat, the opposite of a new horror, we've got Eric Moody from ESPN joining the show to play some fantasy detectives with us very shortly. You're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network.
Talk about your picks and your fantasy teams on Bettor Sports Network.
The importance of checking out the site that you're playing on. Default rankings of these sites. A lot of times they don't get updated. I know from experience. I used to write default rankings for the NFBKC, the basketball version of the NFBC. I'd write these default rankings in June for the NBA, before the NBA draft, before free agency opened up. And guess what? I was never asked to write an update article or update the default rankings. This happens a lot. Maybe if there's something obvious, it gets updated. Aaron Judge, for some reason, hurts his back. Maybe they make that change. Just maybe. But you don't know that. And that's why it's just so important that you show up to your draft room or you do that pre-draft prep. We're all busy. We know we're about to devote a lot of time to our fantasy baseball drafts. Why not spend the extra 20 to 25 minutes to invest properly in your team, to go and see which of those players are way down default rankings? They're going to be different on all of these sites, and you're going to be looking at them and going, maybe their analysts think a certain player who shouldn't be in the top 100, who should be maybe even not even the top 200, will be in that top 100. You got to check that out. You got to know where you're playing, just like you got to know your format when you sign up for the league. It's just so crucial, and people just skip right over it. You think it's cool to show up to the draft room 3 minutes before the draft. Well, number one, it's not cool because the commissioner's trying to make sure it is organized, especially me, who runs auctions. You can't, it's one thing if someone doesn't show up for the snake draft. Oh, well, doesn't ruin it for everyone. Auctions, you can't have someone not show up. Auto bidding, auto auctioning, it ruins the sanctity of those drafts here, which is why I always recommend, hey, make it easy on your commissioner. Don't make them send those texts there. It's annoying. You shouldn't have to do that. Don't wait till the last minute and get in there about 20, 25 minutes before so you can just look up and down the entire default rankings list so you can make a queue out of that, Ron. And the reason I keep saying this is because people still show up 2-3 minutes before the draft, and that's it. In fact, in one of my auctions, people were asking me where certain players were, and I go, did you search their name? No, I just got in. Well, that's no excuse right there. That's your own fault. I mean, you're organized, so you're a hard person to ask here.
You're getting those questions. This is your preschool league, right? People don't know how to search player names.
People freak out. They don't think. That's the problem. Because they show up 2 minutes before the draft. That's why.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on Bettor Sports Network.
Today is baseball's opening day. Celebrate with us on Bettor Sports Network.
Play ball!
What up, Hogs? We've got a special guest joining the show right now on the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. He keeps coming back. We haven't scared him off yet. Our great friend, Eric Moody. He is a writer and analyst writing about the NFL, NBA, and WNBA over at ESPN. And today we are bringing him on to play some fantasy detectives with us. Moody, how's it going, my friend?
Moody, let's go.
Now things are going pretty good. You know, I'm fully caffeinated, hey, ready to rock and roll. And you know what I was thinking as you were going through that, Simon? I was like, I've never played fantasy detective before, so I'm looking forward to diving into this. So it'll be my first time.
Here's what we're doing, Moody. We're trying you out at different games until we find the one you're the worst at, and then we're gonna keep playing that one.
Oh, that's what's going on.
And you're too good at these games, so eventually we're gonna find one that you're terrible at, and then we'll play that every time. How's that sound?
That's what we do to build our confidence. We find the smartest people that we know. We bring them on the show, find the one thing they're bad at, and then continue to beat them at it to boost our confidence.
Needle them.
Pummel them.
So, Moody, we thank you. We're really
thanks
appreciative. No, but seriously, everybody, if you're watching this and you are not already following Moody, you've been missing out. This is the beginning of the start of the rest of your life following Moody on Twitter. He's on Twitter at Eric N. Moody. It's not just NFL, like I mentioned, NBA and WNBA. He is an analyst and expert over there as well. So as those seasons are getting underway, are getting wrapped up, you're going to want to make sure you're following Moody for the hot tips on those sides.
And not only do you get the hot tips, but at least once a week, and I want to say once a day, I swing by Moody's page and there's a meme that makes me chuckle, dude. You're plugged in on that stuff, man, which is I honestly appreciate that. I know I can look up stats, dude, but a good meme every time.
Yeah.
Dude. So we appreciate you, buddy. Exactly. Yeah.
Perfect.
You're the man, Moody.
Well, guys, we brought Moody here today to play some fantasy detectives. Dustin in the chat going #Team Moody.
What?
Well, we're going to get into it. I know he switched on you, Joey. He's always #Team Joey, but Moody's enough to pull him over. How this game works,
I get it.
For those of you who have never played with us or this is your first time watching it, I've got a secret player, coach, or person in mind. I'm going to start reading clues one by one that reveal a little bit more information about this player. Generally, they're going to go from very vague to very specific down at the bottom. After each clue I read, the contestants will have a turn in order to guess who they think that player is. Get it right, you're going to get points based on how many clues have been read. You'll get 1 point for all of the clues remaining, including the one that I'm reading to you at that time. So if it's on that first clue and there's 5 clues, you're going to get 5 points for that question. Now we'll alternate who's going first to keep it fair. So Moody, if you go first on the first one, Coop's going to go first on the next one, and Joey will go first on the one after that. But within a round, so Moody, within round 1, if no one gets it on clue 1, you're still going first on clue 2, going first on clue 3. So you'll be first for that entire round until we move on to the next round.
Okay.
Also, Jay in the chat with the #Moody crew and Dustin trying to cover his track, saying always #Team Joey.
No, it's all right, man. Words have been spoken and they've been spoken in the chat.
Not seeing a lot of Team Coops in the chat right now, gang. Not seeing a whole lot of those in there. Just saying.
My feelings are a little bit hurt right now.
I know you guys having a little Moody versus Joey argument, but maybe somebody sneaks a Coop in there. You know what I mean, gang?
Okay, well, Moody, we're about to get started with clue number 1 of round number 1. Are you ready? Because you're up first.
All right, yeah, let's do it. Let's go and rip the Band-Aid off now. Let's do it.
Here is your first clue.
Okay.
This player went to the same high school as Baker Mayfield, Lake Travis High School out of Austin, Texas.
Same high school. Lake Travis. I don't even know where that's at.
No, I don't either.
Yeah. All right, I maybe.
These first ones are maybe just throwing darts at a dartboard. You can just name any player for these first ones. Sometimes we get a miraculous pool.
Okay. And I can't get any tips or anything, right?
Well, you'll get more tips as the round goes on. There will slowly be more and more information revealed about this player. But this first one is definitely pretty vague on purpose.
Okay, so I just need to name a player that went to that same high school. Got it. That's in the league today, I'm assuming.
Maybe.
Yeah. Ooh.
We've done Hall of Fame players before, but I'm just saying all you know so far is this player went to the same high school as Baker Mayfield. We got some guesses rolling in the chat.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I'll throw one out there. God, this is a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get it we'll get more. We're going to get more clues as we go. So.
All right. I'll just say like a name. Michael Carter.
Michael Carter is incorrect. Coop, your guess on round 1?
Brees Hall.
Brees Hall is incorrect. Joey, you got a guess for us?
So I'm going to go Calais Campbell because his name's been in the news.
Calais Campbell.
That's
is
good thinking.
Incorrect, which means we're on to our next clue. Going to get a little bit more information. Here is your second clue. This wide receiver should have a new quarterback this season.
Ooh.
Wide receiver should have a quarterback.
A new quarterback. So that's clue number 2. Moody, it's back to you. So far, you know this player went to the same high school as Baker Mayfield, and this wide receiver should have a new quarterback this season.
I got to start writing this down.
Yeah, that's a good tip. I'm gonna have to grab a notebook. All right, so all right. She said new quarterback has got me like intrigued. Wide receiver, new quarterback. I'm just gonna follow the news flow, gentlemen. And here's how I'm going with this. I'm following the news flow because we keep talking about Aaron Rodgers. I'm very sick of hearing about Aaron Rodgers. And is he going to go to the Jets? Is he not going to go to the Jets? Is he going to stay with the Packers? So, I'm just going to throw a Hail Mary up there and see what happens. So, Garrett Wilson?
Garrett Wilson is correct, Moody. Wow. You were going to get the points for this one. You get 4 points for getting Garrett Wilson correctly. And shout out Jay in the chat getting that one too. We had a lot of good guesses. Terrell Suggs.
That was a good clue. That was a good clue because I was just thinking of wide receivers, and I've been big on Garrett Wilson, assuming he gets Aaron Rodgers, but who knows? All right, so I got lucky on that one. So.
But the should get a new QB is a nice little touch there because we think.
Yeah. Nice job on that one,
Good job, Moody.
Gonna get you 4 points for correctly getting that one because that was the second of 5 clues. So you've got an early lead, 4-0 on that one. Chad had a bunch of nice answers in there. I already said Jay got the right one, but we also had Travis Kelce, LaVisca Chenault, Bijan Robinson, Johnny Manziel, and a Mahomes guess as well. But Moody got it right with Garrett Wilson, and shout out Jay as well for getting that one. Which means, Coop, you're going to have the first guess on this next round of Fantasy Detectives. Are you ready for your first one?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Player number 2 is up. This player grew up in Pompano Beach and went to elementary school with rapper Kodak Black.
Pompano. There you go, dude.
Pompano. I don't really know how to say that. Is it Pompano Beach?
Pompano Beach.
I don't know. Kodak Black is quite the troublemaker, to say the least.
This guy went to elementary school with Kodak Black.
Very cool. Kodak Black, I want to say he's still only 25 or 20, maybe even only 24. For the amount of trouble he's been in, he's surprisingly still young. And that's in Florida. So who's a Florida boy? How about how about Marquise Brown?
Marquise Brown is incorrect. Joe, you got a guess for us?
I'll go Nico Collins.
Nico Collins is incorrect. Moody, you got a guess for us?
Yeah, I'm really shooting out of the dark in this one. Damian Pierce.
Damian Pierce is incorrect. That first clue. No, the first clues, usually the first couple are maybe a little bit hard to get. If you get it on 1, 2, or 3, you're doing pretty well. It's 4 or 5 where it starts.
4 is Moody, you having 4 points already is a lot of points, to be honest. Usually we get 1 or 2, so you're doing good. That's actually kind of a death blow for us. So we need to get death blow. To be completely honest, 4 points you've usually already won. So let's get these going so we can get some points.
We got guesses flowing in the chat, and Easy Abe's in here saying Team Snoop, Simon plus Coop. I'm 10 minutes behind. Well, welcome in, Easy Abe's. Glad to have you. And Mr. Scamper said, good morning at Jay Felicio and all. Well, welcome, Mr. Scampers. Meow.
Scamp. Meow.
Coop, you ready for clue number 2?
Very much.
And everybody, unless Coop gets it, you're going to be answering as well. Here's your next clue. This player was so uncomfortable talking to the media, he underwent special training so he could feel confident speaking with reporters.
Ooh. There's only one player that comes to mind with that, but he's an older player. I remember Clinton Portis really had a hard time with that.
That's a good clue.
Yeah, Clinton Portis that's why Clinton Portis used to wear his hats in his helmet and stuff. So special training so that he could talk to reporters. Is this DeAndre Swift?
DeAndre Swift is incorrect. Joey, you got a guess for us?
Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams. Man, that must have been a great trainer if he did get trained, because that
everyone's be trained by
nobody's business.
He went through training. Yeah.
It is not Jamal Williams. Moody, you got a guess for us?
Actually, I kind of do. It made me where you mentioned about with the training, and I'm just gonna kind of think with and I'm gonna assume whoever comes up with these questions and clues are probably following current news.
It's key.
So I'm assuming that I'm going to make an assumption here. I may blow your guys' mind with this, but I'm going to go ahead and go with it. I was thinking like Lamar Jackson, because I know he was kind of awkward talking to the media, like when he was in college. I think he may be from Florida. So that's my guess. So
Moody. Unfortunately, these other guys may never be able to catch up. That is 4 more points for Moody. 8-0 after 2 rounds in this game. Scoop,
this Moody guy's
we were
good.
wrong. This is not the game he's bad at.
That's why we're cycling through. That's why we're going to have to take this game and never play it again. So
they won't invite me back for this one, apparently. But
no, you're not. You're not.
Moody, you are up 8-0. Nice job on that one. And Dustin in the chat got Lamar Jackson as well. We had some other guesses: Marshawn Lynch, Rick Williams, Dalvin Cook, Laviska Shenault, but Lamar Jackson was correct. Moody, what do you think is going to happen with Lamar Jackson? We were talking a little bit earlier about it. Does he end up back on the Ravens, or is this an irreparable situation at this point?
I think it's an irreparable situation, and here's why. Especially when you have a guy that it's things that are going on like in the locker room that we may not be privy to, and you see how I don't know if toxic's the right word, but just how adversarial we'll say that the relationship is between him and Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. I just don't see it being like repairable. I just think he's going to end up playing for another team. To be candid, not to even bring the whole dynamic about collusion into the equation, because it's just stuff again we're not privy to. Is that I'd love to see him land with someone like the Falcons or like the Colts. I think in either one of those situations, he'd be phenomenal. So we just got to see if it'll actually happen and if he kind of gets the money that he's looking for. But I just don't think it's repairable.
I'm with you. I think it's the Colts, and I think it happens on draft day or post draft after they use their early first round pick. I think that's when it gets done. But I'm leaning the ends up on the Colts. What do you guys think? We talked a little bit about this already on the show, but Coop, if you had to pick a team right now for Lamar, where's he playing next year?
The Ravens.
Ravens. So you think they figure it out? They figure
it out, man. I think they do. Yeah.
Joey, what about you?
Yeah, I think he stays with the Ravens. The Colts does make a lot of sense, and I'm not saying that. Oh, that's not right. It just feels weird. For
Moody and Simon versus Coop and Joey.
I just think at the end of the day, what happens is nobody nobody is going to trade for him, and then whatever contract comes in, the Ravens are just going to match it.
Easy Aves, and you're saying Moody doesn't believe in Desmond Ridder. Then neither do I guess. And I love that.
I believe in Ridder, but I'm just saying if you have an opportunity to get a player with the statistical body of work of Lamar Jackson, it's okay to have Desmond Ridder sit for a couple of additional seasons. I'm like he could literally change the fortunes of so many teams out there, and the Colts desperately need a quarterback. We've seen how things have worked with Phillip Rivers and Matt Ryan. It's been dismal. So gotta pull the trigger.
You look at that. The Falcons managed to bring back all their good players on the offensive line, Chris Lindstrom, all those guys. They brought in Jonnu Smith, who's a big body. They already have Drake London, who's 6'4", and Kyle Pitts, who's 6'6". And they brought back fullback Keith Smith. Just imagine Lamar Jackson running behind that absolute goon squad of blockers. Like, that would be wild. He'd probably run for 1,500 yards.
God, watching that team with
it's like you saw what Arthur Smith did for Tannehill,
right?
In Tennessee, and then also like if we had glimpses of Marcus Mariota being fantasy relevant. So just imagine with Lamar Jackson. I'm getting excited about that.
Marcus Mariota got benched and still finished like 6th overall in rushing yards for quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Dame over here says Lamar to the Rams, make it happen, world. That would be wild. And then One Nation Underground saying, I hope Ridder makes it. Love my Bearcats. Go Bearcats. That was cool seeing them make the playoff. Sorry they lost, but pretty freaking cool watching that happen. And we'll see more these non-P5 schools making it when they expand to 12. Get to watch a little bit more of that happen in the college football playoff world too.
Is a Bearcat an actual animal, or is that a made-up animal?
It's a real animal.
Yep.
It'd be cooler if it was a fictional, mythical bear cat.
They kind of look like a red panda, if I'm correct, right? But not red.
Yeah, they're not as cool as the bear cat I had imagined.
Are they like close to the Wolverine?
I was gonna say it looks a lot like a Wolverine.
Yeah.
But we'll identify the Bearcat after the show because we got some more fantasy detective.
Yeah, let's play that game.
Moody already won. Let's just talk about animals.
Joey, you're up first.
Great.
Let's talk about these little raccoon-looking critters.
Let me go get my hat. Let's do it.
All right, let's well get
Your
one more.
raccoon hat.
Get a raccoon.
No,
hat.
my. Never mind.
Oh, you do have a bear. You do it. You were wearing a Bearcat hat.
Mhm.
Well, Joey, here is clue number 1 for player number 3. This player attended Madison Southern High School in Berea, Kentucky. During his high school football career, he rushed for 6,748 yards with 122 touchdowns.
I'm sorry, what?
One more
Yeah,
time.
let's run that by.
This player attended Madison Southern High School in Berea, Kentucky. During his high school football career, he rushed for 6,748 yards with 122 touchdowns.
Is that Derrick Henry?
He's averaging 30 and a half touchdowns a year. Derrick
Gotta
Henry is incorrect. It is not Derrick Henry. Which means,
Really?
Moody, you got the next guess.
That was going to be my guess. I was like, man, like he nailed it. So I was thinking of like all
Yeah,
the
I felt
rushing
like
yards.
I felt pretty confident about that.
Yeah, no, I felt confident for you.
Good.
I was like,
Good
Well,
lord.
it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
it's like a running back.
Scamper said Shia LaBeouf. I just said the answer out loud. Sorry.
Oh no, is it Shia?
Just kidding.
6,000. You said 6,000. How many yards?
6,748 with 122 touchdowns.
Did he stay back like 5 years?
So he's averaging almost 1,700 yards and 30 and a half touchdowns a year.
I don't know. I'm just going to say Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb, great guess, but the wrong one. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Coop, what do you think?
Is this Bijan Robinson?
Bijan Robinson is incorrect. I am sorry. Also,
Give
before
us
we move
that
on,
second clue.
I will, but before we do that, Damon here said, my university changed from Crusaders to the Sea Lions, but not a normal sea lion. It is a regular lion coming out of the ocean. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the Bearcat I'm thinking of, dude. Like we're talking there's a lot of bear
out of the mouth.
There's a lot of bear in there. Yeah, there's more bear in the one I was thinking of.
It's a cat.
I was thinking more cat. My team is the Cat Bears, and it's what you think it is. Yeah.
There we go. Well, here's quote number 2 or clue number 2. Joey, in college, this player would wear 1950s inspired glasses, which caused a lot of fans to buy retro inspired eyewear.
The only player with glasses I think of is Horace Grant, but that's the wrong sport. Went to Clemson though. Can you read that fact for me one more time, please?
Yes. In college, this player would wear 1950s inspired glasses, which caused a lot of his fans to buy retro inspired eyewear.
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley is incorrect. Moody, you got a guess?
I was thinking Deion Sanders. I'm like, he's not a running back. Even though in his mind he probably is. He feels like he can do it all.
Nice.
But God, 1950 style glasses.
Yeah,
just gonna throw another guess out there. Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker is incorrect. Coop.
Yeah.
Round 2. What do you think?
When I hear the glasses, that for some reason that also makes me think of Clinton Portis. Probably because I already mentioned him earlier, but it can't
That's
be.
a good guess.
I'm gonna guess. Is this LaDainian Tomlinson?
LaDainian Tomlinson. Coop is incorrect. You are still at 0 points, which means we're moving on to clue number 3 here. For the first time, Moody letting it slip past clue 2. When in the past, it's a miracle if we get one before clue 3.
Yeah. Door's wide open now.
Pay attention, boys, because this clue might help out.
Okay.
This player is expected to have a media career after his playing career because he studied communications in college. Joey, do you have a guess here?
That's also Barkley. I'm guess Barkley for a third time.
Yeah. So he majored in communications, media career afterwards.
Retro inspired eyewear, 122 touchdowns in high school.
Austin Eckler. That's
Austin Eckler is incorrect. Moody, you got a guess here? Did the communications major clue help you out? You up on your NFL players college majors?
No, I'm not. But once he said Austin Eckler, I was like, that makes sense. I know he does, a lot of shows.
Exactly, does, yeah.
But I was sitting there, I was like, surely that's got to be it. But here we are. God. Christian McCaffrey?
Christian McCaffrey is incorrect. Coop.
Is this Jamal Williams?
This is not Jamal Williams.
Oh, you got me with that.
Wow.
You got me.
I don't get you often. I try way too much. Well, guys, that is clue number 4 that we are moving on to now. And here it is, Joey. Clue number 4.
Yep.
This player signed a 1-year deal with a former rival.
They are rivals.
This player signed a 1-year deal with a former rival. Scampers in the chat saying OMG harsh, Simon. My bad.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Sorry, Coop.
Yeah, you try to get me all the time, and we try to get you too. So it's always
Also, JL said most football players studied communication.
That's what I mean. They all did.
It is one of the top 5 most popular college majors. Okay, Joey, what's your guess going to be here?
Samaje P. Ryan signed a 2-year deal, and they're not his rival, the Broncos. Man, it's Jamal Williams, but it's not right. That's my guess because I can't think of anything.
Try it again.
Incorrect. Moody, what do you think here? You got a guess for us?
Yeah, I was thinking like David Montgomery, but you said a 1-year deal. I'm trying to think about the number of years on the contract. I'll go with it. I'm really at a loss here.
David Montgomery is incorrect. Coop, you got a guess for us?
That was a good guess, though.
Is this Damian Harris? Signed a 1-year deal with the Bills.
2 points, Coop. You are on the board. This is
Good
Damian
job.
Harris.
Let's
So with a
go,
final
baby.
score
Let's
of
go.
8-2, Moody, you are going to be our winner. And Moody, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on and hang out with us today and beat us at yet another one of our games. Honestly, it's my favorite pastime watching you beat down on these guys in some sports knowledge. We really appreciate it, Moody.
No. Hey, always happy to come on. And after this performance, I may get banned. So if I am banned, it's been a nice run. It's been great. But no, anytime I get the invite, I'm always happy to hop on. And, like Simon mentioned, if you're not following me on Twitter, you need to stop what you're doing and change that. It's at Eric N. Moody. So you like NFL, NBA, WNBA, fantasy sports, sports betting, rock music, 1990s nostalgia, funny memes. I'm your guy. I'm your Huckleberry. And plus, I answer questions that people send over. So stop what you're doing. Follow me now on all social media platforms and check out all my content over at ESPN. But hey, it's been real, gentlemen. Until next time.
Absolutely. Until next time. Talk to you later, Moody.
You're banned.
Moody laid out the case pretty well for himself there, but I just wanted to add, on top of being an incredible analyst in all of those sports mentioned and all the things he did, he's also just unbelievably nice and kind. Just very kind, very generous with his time, and very generous to others. So if you're not following him, go and follow that man. Everything he said, and then add one of the kindest people you know on top of it.
Yeah, that's what makes me so sad about him being permanently banned.
That sucks. Why'd you have to be so nice and so smart? Could you just pick one?
I know.
I couldn't click that kick button under his name fast enough.
Right. We'll make him play. We'll make him play pole perception next time and bring him back down to reality, or the opposite of reality.
The game that humbles everybody. Pole perception.
Exactly.
Oh, you think you're good at games? Just wait till Twitter gets a hold of you.
Guess what the internet thinks.
Mr. Scamper said also 50s inspired spectacles. Yes, of course. Moody's an expert on 50s inspired spectacles. Everybody who tuned in to hang out with us today, thank you so much. Good news. We're going to be back tomorrow and every day, Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern time. Stick around here on BSN right after this for some Moose and Keith action, followed by Lunch Money presented by Fantasy Guru. And then tonight at 7 Eastern time, it is MLB opening day action on BettorCast. So open up your app, play some Q&A, make sure it's updated so you can play along and win some sick prizes while you celebrate opening day with the BSN crew. That's going to be it for us today. Go Braves, go Sox, and we'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning.
Bye, everybody.
Mind BSN, not to back.